us, two souls the same. With you I'm everything. You never asked me to change a thing. They set our world on fire, but our hearts will burn for miles. I see your beauty shine. You radiate with light. Our hearts dancing time. You're one of a kind. Stars shining with us. Your fire is contagious. I feel the moon on our skin. Love glows out, love streams in. Your eyes shining through me. Light the way so that we can see. And feel the warmth of my love. Shine on and feel we're lost. Even when I'm gone, like circles on from near and far above the flower bed. As we watch the stars, and we'll never be apart.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second week. Welcome back to the second week of OCL playoffs. Today we look at the loser bracket. I think we just got off our series between Chef Choice and the Lamb of God, which ended in a clean 2-0 in the favor of Lamb of God. And I'm your host, Ying, today, and I'm joined by Mercury and Catsby as our casters.
Ooh, that was a very, very dominant start to the day. That series from Lamb of God. From start to finish, they never let go. And they're going to be moving on in playoffs. We're going to find out which other team will join Chef's Choice in elimination here, QAQ or Forever Blessed. Yeah. Both these teams, went up against ostensibly two of the most dominant teams in the entire tournament in that upper bracket. So we'll have to see how much of their loss in the upper bracket really meant something, or if it was just that they were up against the best teams. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll certainly have to see, as, right now we're going to be able to see some of these champions. Well, not really champions, I should say players, if anything. But why can't we call them champions? I mean, isn't that the point of summoners? That's what we are in League, right?
Well, this is the Oceanic Champions League.
It is, right? Very keen to see a lot of these players, though. I mean, I will say there's a lot of players that I'm actually not too actually knowledgeable with, but I think one of the names that stand out for me actually I should say two. It's actually Lofu in the mid lane, but then also Asta in the support role, actually, I'll say, comparing to these lineups, though.
Yeah, Asta definitely well known. One of the best supports in our region, I personally think. I think he's competing in quite a few tournaments now.
Yeah, this entire team looked somewhat solid in the group stage. Obviously, of course, it's hard to judge because it was Group B. We've had that bit of a discussion of Group A sort of being a bit lopsided here as we look towards this this graph from Forever Blessed versus QAQ here. I'm seeing a lot of a big upset, I would say. The gold, the win rate, all of it is heavily in favor of Forever Blessed.
Yeah, I was gonna say they certainly are blessed, aren't they? They kind of got it on. Actually, if anything, it's literally fully across the board in all metrics. But I mean, I guess for last game, the stats were looking somewhat, I guess, moderately 50-50. This is last game, but sometimes stats don't paint the picture. You never know. QAQ could maybe pull a masterclass. I don't know, but
yeah. in terms of like looking at their group stage standings as well, it wasn't too much of a difference, right?
Yeah.
Forever Blessed were 9-5 and QAQ were 8-6. So it was really only that one game that made the difference for them. But we'll have to see how as we look at their 3 and 4 in Group B. So this is probably going to be a much closer match this time around. Whereas Chef's Choice, they were the number 1 team in Group B, but they're up against, they're up against Lamb of God, who was tied with them, right? So it was a little bit iffy who would come out on top of there. But again, we got more Group B action here. 2 of them going to be eliminated. The number of Group B teams left in this tournament is dwindling fast.
I mean, I guess it's what happens, right? When you get put into the second seed,
Yeah.
isn't it? Right? You really have to start making a name for yourself. It comes to these dire straits where you see if you can make your run. And look, I mean, I guess as time goes by, we'll see, of course, what will then show and who will triumph, who will then succeed. But I mean, even then, the stats that are still pouring through, when we actually, I guess, break it down, I mean, from a game length average and to a gold per minute, it's actually relatively not too far apart. But I mean, the deaths are interesting to me, I guess. I'm wondering what is leading to that. Is it potentially maybe what we kind of saw in last games where we were too overconfident? Were we forcing things so hard to try and make amends to a potential error that has occurred? But I mean, look, exciting though. Like at the end of the day, it's exciting stuff.
Yeah, you guys are mentioning how close these 2 teams are, both in their points and all their stats. But is there any team particularly you guys are rooting for today?
Oh, I think I'm going to have to say that I think Forever Blessed is going to take this. I think it'll be a close series regardless. But I think I look at the stats, I look at the players. Forever Blessed just looks like the better team on paper.
Yeah, I mean, I will kind of have to kind of like tag in on that point. I think for a lot of the players that I guess that I'm looking out for, which were the 2 that I was standing for, I mean, Lofu in the mid lane is absolutely monstrous. And I mean, I guess I'm wondering to see if we're going to be seeing a Silas popping in today, or maybe QAQ, are they going to deny it, And I mean, right now, here we are. We're literally seeing these champs. I mean, to have a 67%, win rate on a Silas, it's pretty big, actually. Like, you know what I mean? That's not a small feat that you could kind of, show around. But I mean, look, all right, so top. Ooh.
Oh, we got the 1v1 players ahead of us. Look at that
Both the
difference in
captains
KDA.
as well, if I remember correctly.
That KDA difference is absurd there. 7 deaths for River per game. So trying desperately to make the plays happen doesn't always work out.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to, I was going to say, looking at a lot of their picks, they seem to be certainly, playing those champions that are very much all in, I mean, Pantheon kind of fits that to the T. Nard does, so does Mbessa. So, I mean, hey, I guess we'll see what that brings in, though, in the terms for a 1v1 matchup, though. I mean, because, I guess for 1v1s, sometimes you might need to have a little bit of patience, I will say, depending on what you pick. But
yeah,
and I think
it worked out last game.
I think now that we've discussed Revendia, we will be going into the 1v1 against each other. They're going to be playing against each other very soon. Whether it is a mirror match or 2 different champions, we have yet to find out.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of time to kill. You got packs to open. We got heaps of action ahead of us here in this lower bracket.
Certainly do. I was going to say, surely, is it a pack? Is it potentially a pack, or is this one of those rules where when I play games with my mates, we do per win you get to open a pack? Is that how we're treating it? Surely we don't keep the fans waiting.
I don't know. You guys have a preference or anything? I did.
I've never played Riftbound, so I'm not
host
sure.
TL went and got Riftbound packs, and almost came back late to the stream.
Surely crack one open for good luck.
Right, good luck,
Surely,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
Good luck for which team?
Good luck.
I won't talk about my binder.
Which team are you hoping wins?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I know more people on Dio's team. Dio is a fellow admin here at OCL, so I think he root for me not to.
Shout out.
Do I have to do anything with the?
No.
Is that...
Ooh.
Maybe just the center.
Yeah,
there we are. There we are.
go.
Got it.
Yeah.
Big.
I think no one really cares about the land card. I'm not very
It's all
quick
about
with
the
this. I'm
last
sorry. I've
two
seen
or
those
three.
I've seen videos of people opening the packs. They're very quick.
How many cards are in the pack?
I think it's 15.
14.
It's gonna be 14.
Damn.
Yeah. 14, you get 24 pack if you get a full box. I wouldn't know. I swear I don't scalp for them. I swear I don't spend.
No, I think yeah, only
Ooh.
Ah,
I don't want this. I think the runes come with. I think the runes come with 3 packs.
that's
And
cool.
the shiny card.
It's nice and shiny.
A bit of a disappointing pack. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Ah,
We have
no.
3 more though. We got a wild.
Well, if Forever Blessed lose, we know who to blame. That's for sure.
We're clearly not blessed this time around, but that's okay. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
And they've
I'm sure
taken
we
all
can
the
get
luck.
another
The
pack
luck's
later,
on
right?
the luck for the game. Oh no, pure skill to win League of Legends.
Have to.
True.
That's true, actually. You know what? Fair point. I guess they can't be blessed; they have to earn it. And I mean, clearly, I guess that is the losers bracket, right? It is all about earning your spot and keeping yourself in. So exciting stuff on how that, of course, rotates. But I mean, I don't think things are too long. I mean, I'm actually. I've been looking at a little bit between the two teams, and I guess I'm looking at it from a jungler perspective. And surprisingly, we were talking about a little bit about Graves in the prior as could they be a potential pull-in? But I mean, I might hold that thought. Yes.
Just heard that the 1v1s
Yeah.
are ready. Just provided it's River versus the other 2 captains, and I think I'll pass it on to our captains. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah, you'll be coming
Oh,
along.
I'm
for
coming
the
along this
ride.
time. Just not.
Yeah.
We're gonna go watch the 1v1s.
Yeah, we'll have to see which team comes out on top, which team gets that first pick priority here. We can already see the poll opening up in Twitch chat for you guys to vote. We'll have to see who ends up believing in Dio versus River. But it should be quite exciting here as we've got Varus Akali as our matchup.
I mean, hey. I mean, of course, we're going to be locking in the virus, right? I mean, I guess if you're going to be playing ADC for your team, I guess you're going to lock in that. But hey, we're in. The rift is set. And a grunting man will be here.
The perfect start to things.
A grunting man.
Yeah.
It's just how we all like it, right?
Yeah. A little bit of trading back and forth. Just saying a bit of a how do you do to start off this series.
It's alright. It's a little fair dinkum. And I mean,
Hang on a
look.
moment.
Ooh. Hold up.
Might be a bit over aggressive here from the Akali. Yeah, a big chunk of damage.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the heal this time around, both combat summoners.
Yeah, I was gonna say, doesn't seem to really want to respect that.
Ooh, is
Piercing
this
arrow.
gonna hit? It does. The empowered arrow is going to hit as well.
Ooh. It does. And I mean,
Has complete control of this.
literally, right? I mean, I don't see the Akali walking up any point in time, and
Another one.
that's another.
They're magnetic to him or something.
I don't know. I mean, hey. I mean, this is literally what Varus is gonna do, I guess, for this entire thing. He's just gonna throw arrows.
Oh
lands
my
a
God.
third. I don't know. One more empower. I could claim first blood soon.
Gets the heal, so we'll be a little bit healthier. And with the exhaust, has a bit of effective health as well with the damage that will be reduced. So is not out of this just yet, but is still quite far behind in terms of experience. And that is a heavy wave that is building up in Akali. Not necessarily the best wave clear champion in the game.
Oh yeah. I think I might need to correct myself because I think I was saying I thought Dio was going to be the virus, but turns
You
out
got
I
the
was
ADC
wrong.
on
I was gonna
Akali
say,
and
I
the
was
Pokemon on
wrong.
Varus.
Why is my
This is what
ADC off
happens
roll?
when... Yeah, this is what happens because Forever Blessed, they're not looking too blessed now. And it's completely gone wrong. I think they're going to blame Ying.
Sorry. So my fault. The pack came out a dud. We have 3 more, so maybe if they are
Yeah.
for the each best of 3, The 1v1 doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, I like that thought process. This is a rough situation. The ult is just about halfway back up as well for River, so We'll have that available for the next engage.
doesn't
Never
even
mind,
need it.
doesn't even need it.
Team has scored an ace.
That's a nice way to start things off, and he's going to execute as well. Deny some gold, get a nice back of his own.
I
He is
thought of
sitting
that
pretty.
For 1v1, just execute doesn't be on the same level item.
I mean, that's it. Same level of items, and you're also going to be, you know, I mean, not really like wave really matters, but I mean, that's what I guess Dio's going to have. He's going to have a big wave on his force. What does he try to force a potential all-in on the tower? I don't know, because I mean, that's a very hefty wave there, actually.
He's okay at clearing it though, all things considered. And the Grievous Wounds as well, so not going to get too much value out of that healing. Wave's going to crash, but you're not terribly harmed by this, all things considered.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not... Yeah, he's just going to take the wave. I don't really see. Looks like they're just not really going to force too much. But I mean, that did a lot of damage though. Surprisingly to the tower there. But I guess they're trying to keep it, I don't know, maybe slightly honorable by trying to do it more of a killing route. But I don't know. It's...
If this Varus dies, there's a real opening for that tower to be taken.
I can't get close enough though. It's like every time she walks up, she's getting pelted with the orders, but the fact that you do.
Oh, there we are.
Sells the ult available. Would likely want to stack up 3 to get a little bit extra damage. There we go. Exhaust gonna land. There it is. Immediate cleanse, and it's just clean. And River handedly takes that.
Looks like side selection goes to the side of, I'm trying to remember the QAQ, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. That was a pretty dominant one. I was surprised to see that Dio wasn't going to be playing the Varus there, but at the end of it all,
Yeah.
we'll get information as to whether or not they will be going for that blue side or red.
If they're testing out new comp ideas, Akali's better played in the 1v1 than in that match.
Yeah. All right, so QAQ is red side, I'm hearing. So first pick going to go on over towards the side of Forever Blessed. So, you know, they'll get to dictate the terms of this draft.
They certainly will, and it was. I mean, they certainly will be able to kind of like highlight with that. And I wonder if, I guess what they're kind of going to look to do. I mean, it probably might just be a potential pick in your ADC support if you're going to be really on the red side. If you're going to do that, 'cause I mean that tends to be your most common form of practice. But I mean. So I mean, I guess I'm like posturing on where they're going to try and put their resource, and I'm more looking at it from the terms of QAQ, like what does the power of red side kind of bring to their table or their plate?
Is your favorite in the illusion?
I mean, this is true.
Oh,
yes, I am a favorite. That is my fan favorite. I was trying to be nice and avoid saying it for the 9th time on stream, but I guess we can make it more. Why not? You know, it's just what it is. But that's just how I'm reading the meta. You know, as the recent patch has, you know, started to generate a little shift, you know, in that presence. And yeah. But
This looks like a little bit of flexibility as well. You know, they've got the Jarvan support for QAQ as well, filling in that same sort of role as the Camille. So they've got a lot of different modes to play with.
yeah, I mean, they certainly do. I mean, it seems to be, you know, for the side of QAQ, I should say, they seem to be very in on those very heavy, I will say, engaged supports. I was just having a squiz, you know, they seem to be very strong with on your typical Nautilus, your Leona. I mean, Leona is actually seems to be one of their most actual played that they've been hovering in with, which I think Leona right now actually sits in a pretty nice spot. And with some of those changes, you know, occurring with the Poppy as well as Camille, I mean, yes, we did see Camille still have a very strong performance, but I think when you're matched up to an actual full tank like Leona is, it potentially might not be as possibly smooth as to maybe what that could have been, but who knows? Maybe it was just draft diff all along. Like, it's just so much that comes into it, right?
Yeah, you can never really tell with these teams, especially teams that are so evenly matched across the tournament so far. You know, both went down 2-1 to, I would argue, the 2 best teams in the league. You know,
To remind our viewers at
points-
home, who are the 2 best teams in your opinion?
I think it's Dream Team and Skull Bullet, if I'm being honest. I think Chinese Agricultural Product is also looking pretty solid, but I think if I had to say the top two, it is them. And they'll be facing off, I believe, right now in the upper semi-final, or whenever the upper semi-finals ends up happening, obviously because of scheduling issues.
You have a bit of a collision with Flash.
Yeah, but I believe that, look, one of them is going to go to the lower bracket. I think that team will make a run for things. I think it is very likely that our upper semi-finals will have the same teams in our finals as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I was just going to say, I'm looking at those two teams, and that is a monstrous comp from both. I will agree with you on that. They look scary. And now these are some names that I'm a little bit aware of, and yeah, okay. I'm
You
sure
say star power correlates with the strength of the team.
Yeah, like it does. Like it literally, the names I think write themselves for both teams as to they are who they choose for themselves to be, and both have had a very strong performance in this entire series. But I mean, this is true. I mean, eventually you have to meet at some point, and I guess their fate has become sooner rather than, of course, later. And look, I'm sure that in its own merit is going to be, I think everyone's going to be wondering what the results are going to be. I mean, have we had thoughts? Not to take too much attention. Yeah, I'm not try and take too much attention away from obviously the two big teams that we're wanting to play today. But what are our two main thoughts, of course?
Yeah, we'll have to see how that ends up going. Hopefully, their Ezreal is a lot better than mine. That's for sure. We'll have to see what ends up being drafted here, because it is just about on the way. I'm expecting again to be a bit more closer to standard, but again, the meta is still being discovered as we're playing. So I imagine we're gonna potentially go back to comfort as well.
Yeah, of course.
I believe we've got draft just about ready.
Yes, in right.
Oh, see ya, Ying.
Bye, Ying.
See ya. All right. As we head on in towards our second series of the night, of the afternoon, I guess, at this point. Riven, to start off with the ban here. No Yi Jung, but still going to be taken away from Yez.
Yeah, and I mean, look, we're going to be seeing already a Talia out of there as well. I mean, I'm imagining the Talia, if I was to, let's see what info I can quickly find. I mean, considering we've got...
Wow, they're just target banning this top lane.
Yeah, they really are. They're kind of
quite afraid of Yez.
Yeah, they're saying, Yez, you're allowed nothing at the moment. Aurelia's gone. Riven's gone. Atima? I was going to say it couldn't be, right? Like, it can't be. But I think they are trying to alleviate some with the GP.
I think Teemo's kind of good in some situations. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm coping. I think every champion's viable. So
of course,
it would be fun to see a Teemo pop up here and there. But there's the Syndra to round out the first ban phase. So to start things off, Tron, what is the first pick going to be here? Are we going to lock in a jungler? But it is the Bard once again. Do we see the Camille taken right back over like it was last series?
I'm not... I mean, potentially. It is a potential hypothetical. But then do you potentially look at taking the Leona? You know, like, do you look at maybe picking something that's a little bit more, I guess, stock standard or just very simple to really execute? But I mean, look, we did see this in our first game of today, and it seemed to kind of almost see no difference. But instead, Jarvan is actually going to be popped around instead. So now we're actually going to go more comfort, if anything.
Yeah, gonna start off with the Jarvan once again. This is a bit of deja vu so far. The Jarvan Galio being locked in. Are we sure that this is QAQ playing at the moment?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think the Lamb of the Gods maybe have leaked something potentially in the back end.
Yeah,
but
just copying their homework. It's shameless, really.
It really is. It's like one of those things where it's like, oh, try copy my homework, but make it your own. And I guess we'll see what QA can make of their own. And this is what I was going to talk about a little bit before we went to the pack. I was going to say Goose seemed to be a little bit of a Graves player, And I guess I was interested to see, are QAQ going to respect it, or are they going to let FEB, of course, then take it? Which, I mean, ultimately, we can clearly see is being taken. But I don't think it will work. I don't know. I look at Bard and Graves.
Get some buffs. Graves did get some buffs on the recent patch inadvertently, right? With the buffs to the jungle pet, with the buffs that he's counted as an AD carry, so they gave him some early MR. As Ezreal going to be locked in again here for this bot lane, so we'll have to see how things go. There is a little bit of built-in shred as well with this Jarvan.
I've seen this game before.
Yeah.
We've seen these games before, but yeah,
this is
like we've got. I mean, already the only thing that I guess has changed is, of course, our band rotation, but then also who we see in the jungle. It's just if I'm picking an Ezreal and a Bard, does Graves scream as that jungler to play? Like I don't see too much synergy. It just seems to me, it just seems a little
I would have
clunky.
preferred the Lee Sin that they hold, to be honest.
This is it, right? Like we saw those other champions that could have been, or I mean, even then Mbessa was still available onto the plate, because I mean, Eclipse has had quite a big change. So, and I think when we're seeing the Lee Sin from the prior game, it did exceptionally well. It didn't seem to not be too bad, but Swain, we're getting rid of those.
Yeah.
Just getting rid of those little standard picks, which
Swain is a bit miserable to play against if you are this Galio composition here. We'll have to see what the rest of this draft ends up being. If they do decide to go for the Camille on 4 to really round out this heavy engage composition, they could go for like an Alistar. Maybe that could be solid. Leona is definitely an option, like you mentioned, especially with the support changes as well. Leona is one of those champions that really benefits from the level 6, but it will just be the Camille.
All right,
we're running it all back. Are
we locking in an Aatrox? Are we just going to say put the Aatrox in the bag? Like what's? I mean, we've already got 4 for 4. I guess I'm wondering, what of course the team for FEB are gonna like kind of like forever blessed. Like, what are they gonna look to like highlight instead? Which
like the Sylas.
Sylas is also, I do indeed like the Sylas pairing as well. Has some decent ultimates to take, actually, I will say, in this game. I mean, mainly the Galio and the Cataclysm, if anything. But yeah, I just what would see top to really like. I don't know.
Maybe something like the Cassante, maybe like some sort of big heavy engager skirmisher. That works for that. If we're looking for a skirmisher here, because that's sort of what you need for this Ezreal and the Graves to really pop up, is this front line that is just too busy focused on them that the Ezreal can just start to free hit here, right? And we're going to go for the Vladimir. Interesting. Now it could be Galio top, right? Could be Galio top, flex the Vladimir mid. I imagine that's probably what they're going to go for. We'll see as these trades continue to come on in here. But this comp worked earlier today. I haven't found a reason to dislike it yet.
I mean, this is true. It still had a very strong performance. And again, it's one of those comps that are pretty nice and easy to kind of execute. It really doesn't take overly too much to try and really solidify it. And I just mean that from the side of QAQ. It's literally what it is. But I'm interested, though, to see how Forever Blessed are going to, of course, treat these fights. Are they going to try and are they going to look to maybe splitting the map up? Because, I mean, you do have a Mordekaiser, which can literally bring things into a 1v1 scenario no matter what. Or when it kind of comes to that fight, are you going to, who are you going to want to, decide to pick to really try excel your team? But I mean, hey, I guess when we do lock in and load, we'll see where people are going.
Yeah, we'll have to see which of these teams gets off to the races early. If it is QAQ following in the footsteps of the engage heavy compositions that we've seen so far, they've got this Vladimir. I believe it's confirmed to be in the top lane as well. So we'll have a bit more of that scaling option, because that Vladimir, if it gets late, can just tear through this composition.
Yeah, no, I mean, it certainly will. And I want to see some redemption on an Ezreal. So I'm really keen to see what Ezreal will kind of like pull into here. Again, is a very nice mobile ADC, but
hopefully not the item. We've seen enough crazy cooking so far this day.
Yeah, I mean, what item could we say? I mean, you would never see an Imperial Mandate Vladimir, I'm sure. I'm sure that would never come to
that'd
this
be
earth.
horrible.
That would never, right? You know. Oh, but think about it. My E slows, so does my W. Surely that procs it, right? Doubt it.
Actually, does the slow proc? I haven't used Mandate since. Is it just CC?
I'm pretty sure it's more just CC, but I'll be honest, I should really know considering I play support, but I've also kept League out of touch for a little while, so I'm sure I've decayed to, I don't know.
Okay, it's immobilizing.
Oh, okay. Okay, if it's immobilizing.
So, I don't know if that counts. Slow.
I don't think it does. I
Sure.
don't think slow would.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to say no. I'm gonna put the no on that. Can't.
Yeah. I need someone smarter than me to confirm. As I believe we're just waiting for the minute to catch up to roll over, and then we'll be heading on in towards our game. But looking at this draft so far, and talking about a little bit more. Obviously, the Graves early clearing is going to be quite powerful, especially after the changes. Just is naturally fast, but so is the Jarvan, right? And the Jarvan can also gank a whole lot easier in that early game. So it's going to be a difficult situation here for this jungle of QAQ to really keep up the momentum of this game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for this game highlight, I am going to be really wanting to pay close attention to the jungle. Because I mean, I think jungle, of course, still plays such a strong part in the meta. But I mean, ultimately, it's still always going to be supports. I mean, supports are also going to be playing a really strong aspect there as well. I guess I do look at Graves as a worry. I'm not against like the champ. I'm just trying to think how do we bring this champion into such a heavy engaged comp that has relatively easy CC. It's not, yeah, sure, you can true grit away, but does it like really resolve it? Not really. Like, cool, you got a shotgun, but what's a shotgun if you CC to oblivion? You know, it's I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm worried for it. You know, I really am, but. You never know.
It's not like the dash is that long either. It's a very, very short dash. Camille especially is able to really make the difference there as we're about to head into game number 1 of this series. And yeah, we can already look and see it is the Vladimir top, like we mentioned, going for that Storm Raiders. I admit I haven't cast Vladimir in quite a while. Neither Mordekaiser. So we'll have to see how this ends up going. But I'm thinking that this Graves is a little bit more than a pocket pick here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, looking at the name, it seems almost truly spoken. But I mean, for Forever Blessed, they are certainly trying to look to see if they can get a little sneaky cheese on the top side here. But I mean, I don't know. It's still looking, but I'm sure they're just gonna know. They're gonna know there.
Ooh. Good spot there.
It is a good spot
from the top lane. Note to players, I have to call some players out for the moment here. If you are going into comp, turn off streamer mode. I don't want to see Vladimir and Camille as the champion names on the HUD. I want to see your actual names. I'm gonna call them out.
This is true. We do have to call them out, but. I mean, hey, we'll find it through. But I mean, you're already seeing a heavy skirmish here. Look what's going on.
Hang on.
What's going on?
We're fighting around the red buff at level 1, it seems. Who's going to get the smite first? It is EI. Fails the flash, but still going to go for a massive cosmic binding, and First Blood goes on over towards Silofu. Can they get out of this is the question. What is going on? The hook shot lands, flash over the wall, gets the stun and the taunt to come on through. There's another kill. And it's just Thorfinn running for the hills here. This is a precarious situation for the little bard. Maybe can find something. The electrocute, maybe. It's very, very rough. Gets the taunt. Gets barely living at the end of it all. I don't know how to describe what we just witnessed.
you know, they wanted something. They tried to go for it. It is a little bit unfortunate that they didn't actually win the smite battle. I think if you did win the smite battle there, especially on the Graves, that would have really ripped that heavily more in the side of favor for Forever Blessed. But I mean, yeah, I look, I don't have words. I'll say if you could, you know, see my face, I was literally mouth open. I was gobsmacked what I was watching there. So much happened in such early time. But I mean, look, 3-for-1 trade over. The thing is River's got 2 kills on himself. That's a very big lead for a Galio into a Silas matchup.
No, it absolutely is. And now Yez has to hold out in this lane for sure. But once that top lane role quest comes online, once the levels start scaling, you just get AP from your health. And you get health from your AP, right? So just going to continue to scale up here in this top lane. This isn't really a composition that builds a whole lot of magic resist, right? And with River most likely going to be building the Abyssal Mask as well, it just allows Yez and Teo to really tear through this composition.
I mean, it certainly will, and you know, you just keep yourself a little bit tankier, I guess, you know, into the Silas, but I don't know if Silas is really looking for that. I feel like he's going to be looking to be more of a disruptor. Justice Punch not finding the target there. But, yeah, it certainly is. But, I mean, we did notice, though, Goose here, though, did get to be able to grab 2 scuttles, if I'm actually not mistaken. So that's overall not too much of a bad, I guess, comeback for that early aspect for a Graves. I mean, it's what he wants. He needs the extra gold as much funneled into him as he kind of can to get online, or even the pull for level 6, because once he gets his collateral damage, I think is his ultimate, that becomes a big... you know, big factor for trying to get that nuke's target aspect going. But I mean, hey, supports. I mean, one support's level 3, one's to level 2. Fight in the jungle.
Oh, this level 2 might be in a bit of trouble. Gets the slow, but who is here? It's Teo trying to find the kill, and it will go on over towards the Galio as well. So just continuing to accelerate. There's 3 kills on a Galio at 4.5 minutes.
I mean, it is. It's a 3-0. I mean, 100% KP participation, Mr. Galio. And he's already got a Dark Seal, and he's got a Cinder. He's happy. He's living it. He's living life right now, I'm going to be saying. But I mean, I guess... But I mean, the thing is, though, it is still a Galio. It hasn't really opted for AP. Fight's going on now, as... landing on the hook is.
This Camille is absurd, right? Just the pressure that can be put out here in this lane. Burns the barrier early, heals just about up, but was off cooldown during that. And it allows EI to just completely take this dragon at 5 minutes, right? Just start accelerating the entire team early. It's an Infernal Drake, which benefits everyone here as well.
I mean,
It's looking good to start off the game.
I mean, it very much is. I mean, they're eating well at this point of time there. Decent.
I don't know if you win this trade silo through. Kingslayer healing is good, but the Winds of War do a lot of max damage as well. Get some... Ooh, hang on. Just a punch goes wide. There's 2 people here. Nice cosmic binding again from Thorfinn. And they give a kill on over towards Goose here. Not exactly the situation you'd hope for.
Yeah, it's not what you'd be... I mean, I guess it's not what you're hoping for beside of QAQ. You know, you're slowly now, I guess, ultimately bringing the gold lead back into that aspect. I mean, for a 3-0 Galio, it's just... It's one of those things where he's not really opted to the AP side of things, right? So, I mean, he does just become a little bit more of a meat shield at this point of the stage, and when you don't have a bit of damage there for these kind of, I guess, trade-off fights. I mean, really, it's just more because the fact it's just a 3v2, if anything. But that Cosmic Binding was exceptional. It's a shutdown as well that goes to, for the side of Goose there, on his Graves, which clears the signature pick, and we see a dead Ezreal.
Yeah. By the looks of things, it was just a Camille doing Camille things. Flash was burned as well from both of them, so I imagine maybe like a flash predict or something. River's working towards the Hollow Radiance as well in this bot lane. Has a pretty significant lead that's starting to gather here. We look at this replay as meanwhile Flash is out of the Cataclysm here and going to escape to safety.
Brought back to top.
Yep. Straight back to reality.
It was all but a flash. It was just a flash memory.
No time to look at the past.
Yeah, certainly not. But I mean, it did basically kind of look like that, right? Where, you know, like Teo kind of got the little bit of the all-in aspect in there. We did see the arcane shift out, but on the river aspect, though, that's where the Camille was, and essentially it's where Ignore was coming across, and probably, yeah, most likely dived it, hooked it clearly on the tower to some form of degree. Because that's where we came to the reality, right, of our last play, where the Ezreal was dead. So something like that, clearly. We put the pieces of the puzzles. I'm sure this is what we're finding. But I mean, grubs are being started, though, at this point of time, but I don't really think... I feel like they're just going to let them take it, I think, QAQ.
Yeah.
Not really
there's no real... Yeah, there's not really any pressure in either lane to get anything going with the... Oh, hang on.
Asta.
Okay, burns the heal as well. Yeah, they don't really have any push in any lane, so these grubs, the value sort of goes down there. As now Camille's just about hit level 5 and is massively accelerated from 5 kill participations already, so is going to have that Sundered Sky online very, very fast here.
Yeah, it very much is. I mean, for a support as well, it's a pretty quick buy. But I mean, the Goose just comes back to a fully taken bot side, really, aside from his Krugs. I mean, Krugs get something in that, but...
Trying to bait them out, I think, right?
Yeah.
With that Q, but they're not buying it. They realize that there is a jungler nearby. Never mind, they're going to go in regardless. That was a very late engage there from Ignore and going to get completely punished for it. I don't know what you're doing there.
It's
a bit of miscommunication.
Yeah, most likely. Because I mean, we did of course see you know, like
we'll ignore that miscannon as well.
we let things go as we can, but yeah, I was gonna say we did kind of, you know, see Jarvan hobbing around a little bit, but it wasn't like a hey, I'm fully locked in here, because you already saw something kind of likely occurring in mid. Because I think when Lofu, clearly some interaction had occurred in mid to drag the Jarvan's attention there, but yeah, I don't know, just clearly miscommunication, just overconfidence, maybe too overzealous. You know, you might be a 2-0-3 Camille at the time, but that's just it. It's really all you got. No completed item. Anyways, I need to move on from the past, as we do see a Bard on top side at the moment, though.
Yes, Death Realm going to be burned. Bit of healing to trade things back. Pool is going to be used to dodge the Obliterate, and Flash out to safety manages barely to escape, but burns everything doing so.
Yeah. I mean, welcome to the Mordekaiser treatment, right? I'm just going to bring to the Death Realm. Ooh, nice control from the Justice Punch.
There's backup on the way, though, and there's the taunt. 2-man on towards them. Cataclysm available. They don't even need it. The heroic entrance is there, and there's one kill. Thorfinn, maybe not a situation you want to find yourselves in. Big chunk of damage to be traded back. Collateral damage possible. It's there and ready. Nice flash. Gets the stun. There we go. There's 3 kills for nothing. And the Cosmic Bindings are landing for Asta, but there's just no follow-up on the damage. Big chunk of damage there from Dio, though. Able to win out that time around. And just chaos. That's all I can really describe this game. I can barely comprehend it.
Yeah, it really was just let's go in and and commit the heavy engages there. I mean, sure, we kind of get a couple of kills trade-off in the side for Forever Bless, but I mean, ultimately, I still find it goes a little bit into QAQ's favor, because they're going to be able to snag another dragon here, and it's just only really going to continue to excel. I mean, River's now going to complete an item. I'm sure Teo is going to be coming back with a Kraken. now, which, Kraken
there
is
we go.
purchased. We also have Ignore.
And the Sundered Sky.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've got Ignore literally with the ultimate... Sundered Sky right there.
Ignore's got it before EI does. And EI is the jungler that didn't even have to buy their boots. Oh, hang on. Big engage. Can you use their own Hextech Ultimatum? Silofu, good for one to start things off, but not going to find any more.
I mean, they won't find more. I mean, they'll get a nice kill in that trade-off at the end of the day there. They'll obviously commit that aspect. I mean, look, it's another kill for Silofu, which is essentially what they're going to be wanting. Funneling that gold in there, but what a that is, I'm sorry, that takes the breath away sometimes, just seeing the little cinematic effect, you know, and then you get to witness the grand entrance from a different perspective. But yeah.
Is that real? Is this Mordekaiser really a whole level ahead of Vladimir? Wow. That is absurd at this point.
I mean, he's got 40 CS up. I mean, he's two levels, if anything. 40
and
CS
every
up.
every second he's going to continue to increase that lead because he doesn't have the top lane quest yet.
This is true. This is very true. It's not yet completed. I guess still looking into this though. I mean, the gold is obviously still fairly even, and I mean, surprisingly, I guess for both teams, some of the gold's still kind of evenly spread out here to a form of aspect. I guess it's just I guess it's wondering though, like, where do I want to put more money on? You know, like, do I really want to put this much money into my Camille? Like, is that what we're wanting? But we'll see at that aspect, and yeah, looking at the experience tab, that literally is a 2-item up Mordekaiser. That's actually scary. That is exceptional for Tron.
He's only going to continue to grow. Mordekaiser somehow got 4 plates as well in this lane. And this is another one of those champions that can just completely accelerate. If this Mordekaiser can get, especially with the Proto Belt, it's possible, right? Can get right on top of the Kaiser and just completely eradicate any form of damage from this game.
It certainly will, but I mean, they've shown, you know, Forever Blessed showed themselves topside, and it just means QAQ are going to go, hey, you know what, that's fine. Let's take your bot side instead. And I mean, they're going to get tower first, if anything.
Yeah, they will get the first tower, so they'll deny a little bit of extra gold away from Tron. But they're still not out of the woods yet, despite the lead here. Keeps ebbing and flowing. It's not done just yet. Over the wall, they will see even more vision, so they'll have that at their disposal here. Tower going to be taken topside, and they will just retreat to safety as Herald is going to be started up here.
Yeah, I was going to say, Herald started. Laners, in the terms of bot side, have like kind of reset more in the terms of QAQ, so I feel like at this rate, they're probably just going to let them take the Herald. I feel like just don't really have enough time to really reset the boundaries. But I mean, look, that's fine. I mean, sure, let them take that if you can. But I don't know. It's just still waiting for the moment to really see Goose here come up in for these fights. Because I mean, look, Hubris has obviously been purchased there, and he's nearly on the second item. And
Hextech Ultimatum with the ignite, they'll find the kill. Teo now in trouble, looking for the kill instinct on towards the back, gets the heal, and now Silofu might be looking to try and turn this around. There's the heroic entrance. Hook shot lands barely as well in towards the baby cage. They find another, and Goose, not necessarily the situation you want to be in, but here's the backup for you. Oh no, you're dead. Hang on, they re-engage. Flash over the wall needed from Goose. Now it's a 2v3 in this situation. You sort of have to run for the hills here. They see where Goose is, but there's backup on the way, and your top lane is at a payphone trying to keep the top lane going. Flashes over the wall, rather the arcane shift, and they are just going to run them down here. The lethal tempo has been stacked, and they have been completely cornered. Is the TP, and no! He manages at the very last moment to get out. River lives, a heroic sacrifice from EI. And they'll get some stuff on the top side as well.
Bloody wowzers. That is, I mean, that's quite interaction. I mean, this is where it kind of starts at the beginning, right? Killer Instinct comes in with the ultimatum onto Asta. Asta kind of gets killed up there. But I mean, this Silas champion, though, what a bloody monster. I mean, at this current stage, he's really setting these pace-ups for some of these fights. Fortunately, does get taken down with the baby cage coming in, but it's just not enough utility. And speaking of utility,
Teo in trouble. Collateral damage is not even needed here. There's 2 kills, quick as you'd like it. And this hubris is stacking up fast here. They're going to take the mid tower while they're at it.
I mean, they certainly will. And I mean, Herald's getting used up. They do a little small drive by, but they don't get to take it. But it doesn't matter. You take the extra plates as you can. But I mean, that's 2 kills. You know, you're pushing further back. The bot lane, you know, Camille's getting taken down again. Teo as well is also coming across. I mean, I think Forever Blessed still have a footing in this game, and they're certainly not yet backed out from it. And from there as well, we're watching a little small stroll coming across. There we are, Death Realm used up.
Burns the Death Realm, but there is backup nearby that they're not aware of. Thorfinn runs away. TP coming on in. The Rylai's slow plus the Obliterate does so much damage here. It's like Exodia finally gets the healing. Might be able to run to safety, but doesn't commit the Protobelt. Meanwhile, Goose and Asta just died somehow. Camille getting those kills. Tron a bit caught out. The Death Realm no longer available. And they get 3 kills for free, and QAQ just turn it on its head.
Yeah, QAQ certainly turn it on their favor here at the moment, and I guess it's one of those things where I think we might have spent a little bit too much time on a... Sure, you know, Yez might have been alone there, but I mean, this enemy team are very mobile, and they're all over rock up, and ultimately they could catch Forever Blessed in the blue side. And speaking of fights continuing, Lofu's going pretty hard.
Yeah, not willing to commit, recognizing there could be others nearby, and is correct in that assumption, but still showing the power of this champion, especially with the upgraded boots, right? They did get slightly nerfed. I think it was like 5 magic resistance or something, but it is still... Yeah, as we look at this replay and see, they just completely melted on them. This is exactly what we saw from this composition last series.
It is. It's what we literally saw from last series, and it was kind of punishing the... Because, I mean, you know, Forever Blessed were like, hey, we want to help reinforce our boy Tron into this, you know, little mount lineup here. But ultimately, they kind of just get turned on their heads, and they are the ones that actually sacrifice themselves. And even then, Tron dies in the very end. It's still very volatile in the terms of how quick the game can turn, you know. I still don't feel QAQ have it as strong compared to last series in their favor, but I mean...
Ooh, hang on a moment, they're just melting! The Killer Instinct as well gets 2 almost, never mind, the Tempered Fate goes a bit wide, but it's just a zoning ult this time around.
It certainly is, and I think at this point the Silas Gallia matchup is just 2 somewhat moderately beefy people just slapping each other up as best as they can. But look right now at the presence for QAQ. They're looking for something top. That's 4 members walking.
Oh no. I mean, that's just brutal. What can you do in that situation? Especially there, right? The Cataclysm is trapped in the corner. You can't dash out of it because the ultimatum's there.
You just have to take it.
You just die.
That's it. You just have to bid farewell and just take it, unfortunately, in that moment, and hope that your team are potentially getting some form of push elsewhere. But I mean, even then, I don't really think it could have happened because Dio was taken down into that, well, I guess it was a 1v1 startup, eventually became to 1v2. But I mean, Teo right now on this Kai'Sa, I mean, already showing a very strong, I guess, essentially 1v1 capability there. I think they could have actually almost committed to a 3v1 fight carry for themselves. But enough about that. Skrynel's control is going to get used up to this vision. Dragon is looking potentially available in 20 seconds. Both teams are very strongly grouped right now. Visions are being dropped. shall see what will happen in moments, because all it takes is someone to pull the trigger here.
Absolutely it does. They've got a lot of tools to get that engage. Hook shot's one of them, but that is down now. Good reveal with the Void Seeker, though. They're going to go in, finding the first heroic entrance as well. Trons gets in towards the Death Realm, but immediately finds that kill on towards the jungler. How much more can they get? Tempered Fate, good for one, on towards the back. Goose gets one, continuing to just melt them down, and Drain Tank to eternity here. And the free hitting Teo continues to free hit, lives just as long as is necessary. And at the end of it all, it's down to a 1v2. Can he secure any more damage? He can a little bit, but the Blood Song might be enough. Might have stepped up a bit too far forward here. Oh, look at that damage. You have to run for the hills. And somehow at the end of it all, Forever Blessed limp away with a bit of a Pyrrhic victory.
They do limp away, and it was just a game of cat and mouse in that last interaction there. All it took for one member just to make the slight mistake for that death to occur. But I mean, look, still won't be that clean ace. But I mean, do we even stop the dragon here is the question. I mean, we're already seeing recalls coming in from the side of QAQ. Dragon's being started up, already dropping to 6k HP here. This looks like it might be another fight coming across soon, but this Graves is by himself.
Oh, this is not a situation you want to be in. Dashes out the other direction. And now, hang on a moment, into the pool. Who's going to find it? It will be Forever Blessed claiming it at the very least. There's no Kai'Sa here just yet. Amazing Cosmic finding once again the free hitting. Trades one back at the very least, but oh, this is not a situation you want to be in. Killer Instinct over the wall and pulled right back in. And it's 4 for 1 for Forever Blessed.
Now that is not what you're going to be wanting for the side of QAQ. I felt like this was almost a little bit too forced. Like, you didn't have your main damage dealers around. What looked like a little bit of a shaky start for Forever Blessed. I mean, they had the Grand Entrance copy, used that to split the fight in half in the Dragon Pit, and the Cataclysm exchange. I mean, sure, you're locking away a member, but that binding from the Bard there, Asta is literally setting a tremendous pace for his team in that last bit here. And even another one on the cheeky Killer Instincts avoid into the grip coming across from Tron. But I mean, hey, they get Dragon. They're going to be claiming 2 towers here in the mid. I think actually might have been 1. I think mid tower's already gone. My bad if it was. But I mean, yeah, again, this is still, it's not yet over, but that does certainly help Forever Blessed making back what they had just lost moments ago.
Absolutely it does. Riftmaker now completed for this incredibly fed Mordekaiser. So even going to be more of a menace here. Sterak's Gauge as well. So we've got some big items coming online across the board here where they really matter. Vladimir at 2 as well. EI building towards that Guardian Angel. Doesn't have it just yet, but might on the back. So if he does, that'll be a massive boost to their team fight. There it is.
It certainly is. I mean, GA, you know, Sajav's going to have that in under his belt, which I'm sure, I should say, I was going to be wanting. I mean, look, I think we're going to have that little moment where things slightly slow down for the next 2-ish odd minutes, because really right now it's just everyone's getting their quick third items, potentially fourth, and then I guess they're really going to want to start painting the map a little bit more there. Because I mean, right now we see a lot of vision right now onto the Baron, but I mean, we've also got Tron on bot side. He's recalling. What am I saying? He's not going to push that further out. Just going to grab that one wave, reset.
Absolutely. They're clearing up the vision for the moment. Now, hang on, big engage, absconded duck. Can they find something in towards the pit? They go. Amazing Tempered Fate. And once again, the stuns are landing left, right, center, on towards the backline. Teo, good for 1. Might be able to find 2, but immediately gets abducted. Might be free hitting for the moment. Thorfinn has to run for the hills. Death Realm buying a whole lot of time here. And look at the top lane. Yeza barely gets to safety in time. Heals up as well. And Teo, the stalwart carry of this team, keeping them alive for the moment.
He certainly has his team on his back, but I mean, it's not still fully over. I mean, they're trying to look for something. Things are coming around. Missile gets used up for a little bit more vision there. I mean, we do also now notice Ignore respawning. So, I mean, they're going to have a Camille coming across here. Portal take out at the moment. It's a little bit of a bit of a long chase here. And if they do get these 2 picks here, this threatens Baron.
It absolutely does, but not really in a huge position to do so. Thorfinn. Ooh, collateral damage barely. Not going to land it. This is a scary Graves, even with the outnumbered situation they find themselves in.
I mean, it certainly was. And I mean, look, guessing the side of Forever Bless is... I mean, look, you're really just kind of giving away the extra, I guess, K gold that you had. But I mean, when we do head into 30 or almost 30 minutes into the game, gold starts to slightly become a little irrelevant. But I mean, look, Dragon, they're going to technically be able to potentially get a bit of heavy vision control for this Dragon that is going to be up in the next 40 seconds. But this is a still very lonely Vlad on bot side. Let's see if we look for anything, though. Just looks like Silofu just kind of did a little bit of trading, but I don't think they're heavy called out for it. Yeah.
Ooh, they're angling for something here. No TP for Vladimir. There is one for Silofu if they so choose. They're going to engage on in. Big Tempered Fate completely removes him from the fight for the moment. Death Realm in towards it. They manage to find the kill on towards the jungler, but it is traded back just about. Amazing pull on in and look towards the back. Abscond, the Duck's going to miss this time around. He's living. He's somehow living so long there. And there's 3 kills for you. Looking for a little bit more. It is just Thorfinn left standing, but it won't be enough. And somehow they turn that from the brink of disaster. And QAQ, they're up 28 kills. They're looking to get Soul Point.
I mean, look, we get this replay, right? I mean, a very nice Bud ultimate to try and keep the Kai'Sa out as long as they possibly can. It looked good here, right? You know, we got the kill, but look at Graves. He gets literally taunted, engaged on, and he's out of this fight. He's got nothing. And I mean, look, Teo is just
look at this
literally
Kai'Sa,
carrying
man.
his team. He has his team on his back. And I mean, sure, it looks like Vladimir did some work by getting the triple kill, but really, it's really all Kai'Sa. But I mean, look, this is the part where things start to get a little bit more scary, because I mean, that is, like, I should still say that is 3 kills going onto the side for Vlad, which gives him a little bit more gold. He is now level 16, so I mean, ultimately he's at his part where he needs to be to have a little bit more of an impact in the game. But I mean, look, Dragon taken down. That's going to be getting them to Soul Point. But it's still, I don't know. Still wondering what's going to go on. I'm noticing a GA purchase.
Yeah.
See what
I'm not.
See what GA.
Yeah. GA going to be up there for Goose. I'm not liking the build from the Vladimir. I would have preferred to just see you go straight into the Rab Cap at this point, but
Yeah.
we'll have to see how it pans out. All right, they're going to start things up. They're going to TP in as well. Both mid laners going to be joining the fray in just a moment. Tempered Fate actually lands on towards Teo. Good flash cosmic binding. Might be able to find a Death Realm in from Tron. Barely managing to secure the kill at the end of it all. EI forced to run. Hero's entrance as well. The flash over the wall. Thorfinn might be a bit too aggressive here. Massive ultimate from the Vladimir, but it's just not enough just yet. Oh, one left standing, but at the end of it all, take a bow for this Bard, because what an incredible set of performances from this support to turn this fight and this whole game around. They might look for the end.
I mean, they certainly are looking for the end. I mean, look, power's going to be down. Inhibitors following up very soon. I don't know if you still got 20 seconds before your next member is up. And I mean, here it is. Inhibitor towers are coming down. One more crumbles. The Nexus is coming through. And Forever Bless, in a very major turnaround, do get to claim game 1 in this matchup series.
Wow. I have no words
Cinema
for,
is what I can tell you.
like, that might be one of the best. Like, Tron did incredible, right? No doubting that. Just incredible performance there. But the amount of catches that this Bard was capable of, right? Not just in that final fight with the Tempered Fate into that amazing flash Q situation to barely catch Teo on the edge of the wall, but throughout the game was consistently roaming and supporting this top lane, was getting these CCs in and really turned the tide of things. And now, from the brink of defeat there, they are up 1-0 in this series. They are one game away from moving on to the next round of this lower bracket. What a performance.
I mean, it's a very solid performance. And I mean, we were talking about, in the moments before the game where these are two teams that are somewhat moderatively evenly skilled. And I mean, that was clearly showing on the Rift because it was still anyone's game. And it just ultimately went to who got the initial start of the fight exceptionally well. And that's literally what most of the fights were. It's who got the first main picks that they needed to then excel it further. And I mean, Asta had a little bit of a I'll be honest, had a little bit of a wonky performance at the start with his Bard. He was getting caught out a little bit left, right, but nah, full on towards the late game. Exceptional ultimates that were being landed in there, mainly catching Teo out, because once Teo was gone, that was it. Teo was gone, was non-existent. The damage was gone because I do agree with you a little bit with the Vlad build as well. I feel like if you just go for that raw AP, you've already got the tank that you need. You've got the CC. We don't need this cosmic drive. We don't need that extra mobility that's needed, because I feel like even if you're against the Death Realm, you can keep yourself alive long enough. Yeah. That's your champion. That's your whole shtick, But I mean, hey, we're going to be seeing a lot of the stats here, and look at the damage charts on the Kai.
Oh. Look at that gold graph. It's just it's a roller coaster.
It is. But I mean, it was mainly QAQ's fight. I mean, for the gold though, it was mainly in QAQ's side. But I'm going to be honest, it really is a bow down performance onto the Bard. I'm going to be honest, it really turned the game quite strongly. But even then, I can't fault as well for Lofu as well on the Silas. I think the Silas did quite a bit of work in some of the fights to still keep, the presence going for his team. I felt like it was that initial mid-game aspect where I was like, wait, hold on, the game's still not over yet, guys. We can still funnel our way back. And look, they certainly did. And no, it's exciting. I'm actually very excited for this series. That was a very exceptional game one coming into the second match for the evening.
Honestly, you could highlight any one of these players across both of these teams and call them the best player of that game. It was incredible. I believe we've got a replay coming on in here. Our production was hyping this up, so I'm excited about it. As we'll see here, barely catches it on the edge. And then look at this flash. From the corner, catches it. It's absurd.
I swear we witnessed a repeat of that as well from last. And the grand entrance.
I think so, yeah.
This Galio's alone. By the time he lands, he's alone. And this portal play, which looked like a bait. But look at everyone. They're still so tanky. I'm sorry, another POV, but this instead, it was Lofu's action. And the Vlad just coming down moments later. That I will say, production team, that is... I give you a clap for that. That was very nicely... That was a very exceptional replay right there. Amazing stuff.
And now for everybody, I guess they are. I guess they are blessed. I guess your card pull worked out in their favor.
Yeah, they definitely took the luck from that card pull and managed to channel into the game, I guess.
Well, I think you pulled the claw item, so clearly they clawed it back their way into the victory, right? So you clearly did something.
Claw, it works.
It works. It's everything's fake.
Looks like a claw, I guess.
God, now we're heading to.
I don't think there's been much of an analogy between Mordecai's and a claw unless you count his little pull.
Yeah, he's got the little...
Yeah. I'd say that's a claw. It literally looks like one. What else would I call it?
And I am here for broadcast, so we will be going to break real quick just to give our casters and our players, obviously, a little time to, I guess, recuperate, regenerate, get themselves ready for the next part of the series. In a sec, 5 minutes. We back?
Yep, we're back.
We
Hey,
are.
everybody. Welcome back to the second game of QAQ versus Forever Blessed on week 2 of our playoffs losers bracket. That's a very big mouthful. I feel like we should be able to shorten it somehow.
Yeah. Welcome back to the OCL, everyone.
I was going to say. Welcome to the OCL. This is where we are. This is where we are. And what a game one in this afternoon series for like the second matches of the night. Like that is... Oh, that was some...
no reason being that close.
I know.
No business.
I mean, but unfortunately, you know, I guess QAQ didn't get to harness the powers of what it was in Series 1, you know. But I mean, hey...
The card pack blessing.
It clearly is. Card packs clearly bring it all together.
Are we saying all the card packs are always going to be favor for Blessed? We do have 3 more to get through. Hopefully we get 3 series.
Well, I reckon we should go through one now, right? Because last game had the claw, right?
Yeah.
And then they wear the claw things back. Mordekaiser's description of his E literally says claw. I think it's Destiny. I think it's fake.
Okay. I try to keep the card centered, but the first window is very small. There we go. First card.
Nice.
There we are. We're in a spot.
That looks like Malphite.
We appreciate the art, though, from Riftbound cards. They really do have some really nice art pieces.
I miss Legends of Runeterra so much, man.
Oh, yeah.
That was such a good game.
It lives
I
on,
don't understand why they didn't
yeah.
just make that. Yeah. They should have just made that the card game.
It was basically...
They got 2 different card games.
We're going to the end. Ooh!
Okay.
Ambessa!
Ambessa.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll see her in the game. And what is that?
It's just a mech.
I think
Just
the
token
showcase
unit.
card here is Ambessa.
That best is nice.
What is who here can do a tarot card reading? We got the claw meant going back victory. What does Ambessa mean?
I think Ambessa will mean Ambessa. We're going to see Ambessa or we're going to see Mel. Either one.
Ambessa will mean Ambessa.
I think it's very...
Wow.
These cards have been very on the nose so far. Right. There hasn't been a whole lot of mystery to them, you know? I think they'll continue.
To be right on the nose, gives us exactly what we want to see.
I mean, Will, and I think if I wasn't mistaken as well, I think the only time we saw Ambessa go away was second ban rotation. Am I right?
Yeah, second ban.
So it could be potential. Like I was like, it could be a potential aspect. Who knows? We'll see. You know, when we get a little bit later. But damn, like I'm actually still flabbergasted. Like I will say, a lot of the times when I was watching the fights, I was like, I was gobsmacked. But yeah.
All right.
Oh, and I hear that we are getting into draw for the second series, so I'll say goodbye to all of you and hand you off to our casters. See you later.
Thank you, Ying. We're into things for game number 2, and there's the Ambessa banned away. First rotation. Never mind.
They said no.
Yeah.
Forever Blessed said we're not gonna take the reading this time. Maybe it was a warning. Maybe it was a warning.
Maybe.
They were like, hold on. We don't want to give QAQ.
Well, Asta's in the chat, so I reckon he was like, just ban it away. I don't want to see it anymore. We've got another Noxian champion though, immediately locking LeBlanc first.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're immediately noticing a LeBlanc take out, and then obviously Lee Sin's getting picked up right away. So I mean, clearly, you know, II has very similar pulls in that, and Avai, yeah, right, Piltover's finest.
I'm still flabbergasted by LeBlanc first pick.
I would imagine
that feels so counterable.
I would imagine support. No. If you're gonna pick
LeBlanc.
it this early, yeah, LB's support.
No, surely not.
I guess Victor is ultimately a flex pick. You know, you decide, are we going to hover at mid or are we going to hover at bot? But I mean, if it's bot, I mean, LeBlanc can have a little field day with it, depending on what the support picks. Because I mean, we don't know yet, and I don't know if maybe Forever Bless are aware. But I don't know. I am the king of off-meta support picks, so I will pick things like Silas. I will pick things like Full Lethality Poppy. I will even sometimes dabble a little bit in Twisted Fate and LeBlanc. So this is why I'm wondering, could it potentially be, LeBlanc? Could LeBlanc maybe be what that is? I don't know.
They got a lot of lockdown to deal with this LeBlanc, that's for sure. They've got the gravity field, they've got everything that Nautilus can do, they've got the Vial rather as well. They've got a lot of targeted CC that follows this LeBlanc back to wherever the distortion's coming from. And there's the Sivir to round things out for this first stage. But still a bit of ambiguity. Like you mentioned, it could be the Victor bot lane. Maybe if that's the case, they go something like Lissandra mid into the LeBlanc, right? That's a traditional counter that you see across the board. And then you go some kind of bruiser or like some sort of AD bruiser top lane, like the Renekton, but that's just been banned away. So we'll have to see how the rest of this ban phase evolves.
Yeah, well, we'll see, of course, how it kind of comes to be. But I think really we're probably going to see a little bit of, I guess, top presence in these next ban rotations, try and limit the bruisers, limit the heavy engages. And I mean, Kennen, I'm noticing Kennen, and I was going to lightly talk to it if it became a champion pick available. But I mean, even then, Kennen did have a nice little buff that came out, if I'm not mistaken. Some AD, MR boost, and then an extra bit of damage on top. I mean, with AP ratio, it's not bad. So we could see Kennen coming back into the scene, but not for these games, clearly not. But yeah. But look, another Gnar taken out.
And Gnar's going to be removed from the list. It will be Braum as well. So taking away that traditional combo with the Sivir as well. I imagine we're going to go for support here on 4. Leona's definitely an option. You could go for the Alistar as well. Those are probably the two that I would consider. You sort of want something that can disengage the Vi from you, right? So maybe you do end up going the Alistar. Ooh, hang on, Diana.
I don't know. The more we're picking,
real, right?
the more we're picking.
That's
it
real.
Could be LeBlanc support, and they're clearly locking it in. I mean, surely we're not going to see a Diana
now. Look,
support.
I saw Care pop off on the Diana in the LPL like just yesterday, but that is LPL. LPL is just crazy, and apparently it's a Care pocket pick, so we'll have to see where that ends up going. I don't see really how they're going to deal with this Olaf if it gets locked in, which it does. They're going to need something crazy here as a final pick for QAQ, because otherwise, Forever Blessed, I much prefer their comp. There is the Lissandra we were talking about.
Yeah, I was going to say Lissandra's going to get picked up here, and I don't think they don't do that bad into LeBlanc matchup, but especially Diana, I don't think that's even too much of a matchup for them there. So look, Lissandra, I will say, like the pick very well. But I mean, there isn't also anyone really
that's
to
locked in, then.
Kill a Mundo.
That's...
I mean, okay, like we had game 1 draft.
Huh.
It was like everything made sense.
Nothing makes sense anymore.
Now we come to game 2 and it's like, yeah, we'll just do what we want. Let's just do what we want. Let's decide.
This guy doesn't understand what's going on. He's from the future.
Oh, God.
He's just throw it all out.
He's just. Pardon the French. Nothing heard. Nothing of lost. -5 gold. Anyways, but look, things are quiet. Yeah, this game is going to be definitely different, and I'm very interested to see how it's going to be played. You know, I mean, look, if I do look at the comp, I feel like I maybe like Forever Blessed a little bit more, but I think it's just because I'm always something a little bit more about not keep it too simple, but what's easier to execute. I do talk to this a few times, but that's really easy. What seems to be one's a little bit easier to really get it done. You've got, the C Spattery, which is literally, I'm going to pick a target. Guess what? Lissandra goes, I'll just drop a Frozen Tomb on the same target if I want to.
Yeah.
Let's lock it down. Nothing needs to be crazy. And what is Olaf? He's just an angry ginger Viking who can just roam the streets however he wishes. And look, we've got QAQ. I can see it.
Give me something here. I need something.
I feel like this is one of those things where it probably to me is going to be early game, but this is wondering what I guess the Diana. Like, I'll be honest, I'm very interested to see what this Diana is going to whip up in this game. In all fairness, because I see a lot of issues for them. Like, I really do. LeBlanc support is also Look, I like my niche.
It's not just LeBlanc support. It's LeBlanc support into. It's LeBlanc support into Nautilus.
You know, you just dodge it, right? Just dodge the just dodge the anchor. Just because you know where I W'd from doesn't mean I'm going to take it back, I promise. As I sit first into a Nautilus, nothing's going to go wrong.
You just like jump in and he just point blank does that and locks you down for 3 seconds. Like, what are we doing in this situation?
We have fun here on the Rift. This is how I see it. We have fun here on the Rift.
We do.
But the thing is, right, is, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they could maybe try and really pull this roaming aspect potentially. I mean that's probably where I'm going to see LeBlanc do. But I don't know. They're going to have to play it literally perfect to the T. And I mean, they did play very perfect to the T in the earlier stages of last game. So I mean, who knows? Maybe they might keep that ride, but I don't know. I'm very scared. But they drafted it. They have an idea. Well, you'd hope so.
It's their funeral. Literally, if they lose this, it is that they're out. So it is a bold way to go about it. That's for sure. We've got a little bit of a pause, a little bit of a tech issue going on in game. So we're just gonna try and unpack this all in the meantime as we head on in towards the Rift. Look at it here. So beautiful from a distance, unmarred by the horrors that we are about to witness.
I mean, literally, but I mean, hey, it wouldn't be Summoner's Rift if it wasn't horror, or I would say League of Legends in general. League is one of those games that just either makes you happy or it takes your soul. And clearly this game, it could be, it's definitely taking a team's soul because, you know, they're going to be out. But I mean, look, we're already, I think, oh, that's just so calm. The sound of the river. This is just the calm before the storm. Here we go.
Oh, here we go. We're starting off aggressive early on with a bit of a moon flare.
Yeah. No, Resonating Strike kind of comes in, moon flare, and what is this? I was going to say, surely we're not reinvading again.
No.
But this is a
We
Vi
saw
Q
how
start.
badly that went last time around.
This is a Vi Q start.
It is. And now EI with that Q gonna miss is... I'm trying desperately to understand what we are seeing. I'm trying.
Well, IA is clearly going to be pressuring the fact that Goose has Q start on Vine.
Yes.
That is literally a disaster. You wouldn't ever want to start with that. That is a lot of your timer gone. And I mean, Lee Sin is just going to, you know, free roam it. I mean, I'm sure they're going to try and mirror in some way, but whether they can, I mean, damn, top lane, a little bit volatile there with the little bit of back-to-back slaps here, but here you go. Oh, W doesn't really land, Chain does. See, what did I tell you? Look at the hook.
He lost like 200 health to do 30 damage. I love it. I love it. Let's go.
Yeah, this is what we want. Welcome to League of Legends. So yeah, I was gonna say the Q on Victor is what makes him so strong, and we've already seen an early
hang
gank
on
here.
a moment. Yeah, Tron might be in a bit of trouble. Might be able to finally trade things back, and Mr. Gunsworthy take a bow. He's still going. Hang on.
No.
He barely manages to get out alive there. That could have been disastrous. And Tron turns things around.
That is certainly... I mean, if Tron got 2 kills there, that would have been... Oof. I mean, 1 kill is already bad, but 2 kills would have literally shut down the Lee Sin, even in their own. And I mean, look, Goose gets a couple of camps back. Mainly the buff here, but another fight into the mid.
Oh, I don't know about this one. He's going to commit towards it. Has the flash. Nice flash to the side. Gets to safety. Does commit that resource, though, and it will mean that top scuttle is going to go in favor of this Vi, who is quite a significant bit ahead of the farms, at least for now. But Lee Sin has a lot of camps to get back on because of that vertical jungling that he went with earlier. Or rather, the blue to blue.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Now can take the top side.
Yeah.
Quite beneficial.
Yeah, certainly is. I mean, look, I mean, Goose has got himself a little bit back in the terms of jungle clearing, but I guess just because of AA with the fight here, and
Look at it.
that was like, man, this.
Oh, he hit in the minion wave. If he
did.
didn't move forward like that to try and contest, he could have lived. Maybe just wait for the Q cooldown, but regardless, he's happy in this situation. Just the Doran's Helm really for this Mundo here. Not exactly what you'd hope for.
No, it's not what you'd hope for, but it's what he's got to work with. And I mean, even then,
Yeah.
I don't even think any build change order would be different anywho for a Mundo. Of course,
Yeah.
it's just going to be health anywho. It's what his gimmick. That's his whole thing. But I mean, the thing that is big here though is I guess how the wave is coming in though. Because I mean, realistically, Tron is going to be able to freeze this, and if Mundo, I would say if Mundo tries and commits like to really heavy pushing this, I think Tron can punish that. It's like it forces you, right? It's like make a choice. Are you gonna let me freeze it, or are you gonna interrupt it? But yeah,
We're going back to standard now.
yeah. It's,
Now that the
we're calm.
yeah, the calm is set. First dragon not
isn't calm
online
anymore.
just yet. Hang on a moment. The calm lasted 5 whole seconds here. Undertow lands again. Resonating strike, big damage. Byleth, can he heal up in time? He won't be able to. There's another kill to EI. 2 on the line for this Lee Sin. Happy and sitting pretty at the moment, especially now that this Mundo has a massive advantage in this lane.
Yeah, and I mean, this is what I was talking a little bit about, right? Where it's like, look, you make the decision. Are you going to stop the freeze or are you going to get it going? But I mean, hey, ultimately, it is, I really saving Yez here in the top side again, arriving for the second time. But even then, we can notice the cheeky little LeBlanc coming in as looks like a little bit of a skirmish was occurring here. Teleport's been used with the ultimate from River. Dragon, look at a little start.
Going to be started up and taken, probably uncontested here by QAQ. And now we'll have to see how this impacts the rest of the map here, right? Obviously, River can't get too much done in this mid lane thanks to the just the nature of Lissandra countering these assassins, right? They like to try and hop on in. Is that real? A perfect smite. We've had that before. We had that once before at Tor, I think.
Yeah, right.
But the 0 MS, that's insane.
I mean, it's a pick.
That's crazy.
It's a pitch frame, and I mean, it wouldn't be any better than any other champion, right? Than Lee Sin. I mean, Lee Sin is that.
It was
jungler.
Zookeeper, yeah. Shout out, he's in the chat.
Oh, respect. And I mean, there's a little bit of fight occurring here. The 2-split fight here between the junglers as well as mids. Nothing heavy committed there. But I was going to say, I'm noticing as well, the build here, it looks like, I mean, I would have thought potentially with the Eclipse changes, maybe we might have gone for the Eclipse first item, but it looks like the Sky is looking to be who comes in.
Yeah, valuing that extra health there available. Moonfall available if they so choose. And this LeBlanc gets locked under the tower in one shot.
Let it cook.
No, I just
cook.
don't know.
They're trying to let it cook. Yeah.
Hang on.
Dear.
Someone else who's trying to let it cook. The maximum dosage going to completely dissuade anything from happening up here.
Yeah. Essentially does. I mean, Ghost used Jump. And, yeah, Ragnarok as well. But, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I feel like, Ignore really just tunnels on a potential, yeah, I can get the play off here. And, yeah, just got life shackled then. What is happening here right now between these two tops?
Trying to go for something again, but the healing is just absurd. So you can't really deal with it until you have an Executioner's online, and that just delays the build path of that Stridebreaker even further.
No.
Oh,
Let's
no.
Let's not do Ignore like that. Oh.
Because it's just so telegraphed. You know, like, you know exactly what this LeBlanc is going to do. You know exactly what the... I don't understand why they went for 2. They went for not 1, but 2. Hang on a moment. Ignore is in trouble once again. And they're going to hand another kill on over towards Tron. They're going to continue to fight. Maybe the Moonfall can find something. They get one back at the very least. Can they get more? Moonfall lands on towards 3. Hang on. Tron falls on down. And they get a grub for good measure. They win the fight somehow at the end of it all, even though they had no right winning that.
Yeah, I'm a bit interested on really how that kind of turns in their tide, really, for the side of QAQ. But I mean, right now, Lofu is in death's door right now, has clawed away.
Hang on. Oh, LeBlanc, land something, please. Resonating Striker at the top, they get one. Thorfinn's in trouble as well. Can they actually deal with this? Nautilus is the question. Barely lives, and there's a kill going on over towards Ignore.
That's what Ignore wanted to do in that other play.
Yeah.
He wanted to do that earlier. You know,
just was thinking 30 seconds into the future. We're not smart enough.
Nah, we're just not that locked in. But I mean, look, Asta comes in. Look at that chain. It's just from afar. And then there you go. We'll kind of lock it in there. But look, it's still a little bit interesting in the terms of where I'm going to be seeing Ignore in the next 20 minutes with LeBlanc, in all fairness. Merc, okay. Sorry, I'm actually stunned by the boots items on the side of Ignore, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and ignore that.
He needs the tenacity, let's be real. He does, but it's... no. I just think that if Lyssandra's open, you maybe shouldn't be locking in double AP assassins like that. Maybe that's just me. I mean, it's working out for them so far, but the same could be said about last game, right? Last game, they were incredibly far ahead.
Yep.
And they just weren't able to make it happen, right? Maybe Lightning will strike twice, right? Tron is already looking pretty solid here. But yeah, I just don't see what this LeBlanc really adds to the team. And they first picked it.
Yeah, I mean, they clearly first picked it. And I mean, potentially, you know, in a world where maybe it's more feasible if you got rid of Hook Champion, a potential Hook Champion, right? Because you did also just you essentially let almost anything out available there.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, Dragon, I believe, is spawning in 7. They're going for a heavy engage here right now. Dino might get locked up.
Cease and desist, plus the tomb. They're chain CCing. It doesn't work too much for the moment. He lives just a moment longer than necessary. And they will get one at the very end of it all. Goose is out of it just now, and they'll take the Dragon for good measure. They get 2. They get a Hextech and an Infernal. So this team that really needs the damage online gets the perfect Drakes to start things off.
I mean, they certainly have. Like, I mean, this is, I guess, a little bit what I was okay, well, we won't talk about that Smite reaction.
Yeah.
we had the picture perfect frame, and then we had the you know what? We'll just let it go. But
900 milliseconds. Like that's significant. That's not just like.
Let's just not smite it. It's just no smite.
Yeah.
But, what's with Ocean Drake and being the flavored dragon? I think it's been every soul point for all of these.
I think
games.
so. Yeah.
It has. Yeah. It's literally been between. That's it's literally been Ocean Drake only. But look,
maybe that's what we're gonna see in the next card pack. We're gonna see something Ocean Drake related, and we're gonna understand it.
Well, think about it, right? This is Oceanic. This is Oceanic.
Yeah, exactly.
This clearly is where it starts to really dive in together. And look, things are, I guess. Well, I mean, we say things slow down again, but I'm sure we'll give it in a minute as we're seeing a lot of presence already coming across. A minute. Yeah.
Maybe 5 seconds. How about that? Is Goose going to be forced off of the blue buff? Burns the Q early. Hang on a moment. Just immediately, and burns the flash as well. What are we doing? In towards the back. Might be in a bit of trouble this time around. Frozen Tomb. EI gonna fall this time. Moonfall available if they so choose. Might be able to find the trade back at the very least. Gets 1. And a 2 for 2. Out of nowhere. These teams just love to fight.
They certainly like to fight, and certainly not certainly not even in clean
no
fashion.
objectives up.
It's just let's just have a brawl, because why not? But I mean, but
And Teo died somehow as well.
yeah, okay, hold on. I don't even know how that occurred. But look, I mean, look, ultimately, this fight is going to be really different, and that's because, look, hey, we've got our big boy Olaf Ragnarok here, so we've actually got consistency in the damage. You know, yes, we do try and turn it around, get a little 1-for-1 trade for the mid, but I mean, when there's no objectives, I guess Forever Blessed are going to want these little slowly shutdowns back into their pockets, which really, that's what they kind of got there. Still a little bit unsure, unfortunately, what had occurred with Goose. But right now we're seeing some pressure in the mid with River. Need to be careful.
Moonfall's available, going on in. The Chain CC is there. Ignore's in a bit of trouble. Doesn't use the Frozen Tomb, doesn't have it up just yet. And there's one. Maybe they can find a little bit more. Okay, a nice, good pick to start things off for QAQ. But it doesn't really help them in the grand scheme of things, because this Victor is continuing to just scale up. This Olaf is continuing to scale up. And they don't really have ways to deal with either of them just yet. This Thorfinn might have bitten off more than he can chew by just rushing on forward like that. The Flash as well, even though he was already dead, Goose is going to join them, and the Gander. And they find another two just like that, I guess.
What is happening?
I wish I could answer that question. I really do.
They get their kills. You know, they get their kills. And you would think, hold on, let's stop. Let's take a moment. Let's slow down. No,
we need to fight. We need to fight. Every single moment.
Let's go
Every
again.
single moment is a moment that we could be instead fighting.
And, you know, top lane. It's I don't know, these brawlers, man. But look, I mean, this ultimately, though, I guess, you know, for, I guess, QAQ, it is bringing back what it is you just lost moments ago. Because, I mean, look, gold lead was only at about 800. It's now brought back up to 2.2k. Now we're noticing some item purchases from Teo. We, of course, do have Ignore with the Luden's Echo on his LeBlanc. He's also got, hold on a moment, that's a fully stacked Dark Seal.
Celestial Opposition.
So
oh wow, yeah,
yes, but that's Dark Seal is stacked up.
Interesting.
It's a stacked up ring. And
and double bumps. I just don't understand what I'm seeing. You know, like
that. Look at that damage on Lofu. Lofu just had to take
yeah.
it. Sure.
My thing is,
pressure.
10 minutes from now, this LeBlanc is going to be useless. Most likely.
Yeah, well, the replay goes, but look, right? Look at this LeBlanc. Look at that action. The Q comes in from landing in there to claim the kill onto the Nort. So I should say for Asta. But nah, it's interesting. It really is. But I mean, look, they're making it work for now. Because I mean, it had a bit of a flaky aspect at the start, but this is true. Give it about 10 minutes. Where does it go? And right now, it's doing good work there. Frozen Tomb is done.
Oh, Ignore's in trouble. Chunked to half. Silofu gets to safety for the moment, and finally, the cavalry has arrived here. Ragnarok is available if they so choose. Rushing on in, and here comes the turn. Teo is immediately going to get blown up, and it's just the LeBlanc left standing of that engage. Sure, they'll get some stuff on the top side, but immediately Forever Blessed turn things around.
Yeah, I mean, it's the immediate initial start there where they're trying to, you know, they apply all their nukes onto a particular target. But I mean, look, Lysandra just presses that Frozen Tomb on themselves, gets themselves back to half HP, and essentially it's now their time to turn the game around. And that's essentially what they did with the fight. You know, they got this battery lock in onto a target. Ragnarok comes across. No one's really going to stop an Olaf. Rampaging around however he wishes. I'm still wondering for the Victor in the terms of we're getting to that stage where he is getting his stacks for his Hex Augment. So I guess I'm keen to see when they start to lock down those targets, when the Chaos Storm drops, how big that's going to get into a fight. Because I think that's really going to lock the fights down even further, rather than staying to these close, similar skirmishes. But I guess for QAQ, they do have the more gold, they do have more kills, they have the game a little bit in their pocket right now, but it is starting to dwindle, though, the later this game is going on.
Yeah. The real question is, can they use
Look at
that gold
River.
to their advantage? Because it looks like River's going to be in a bit of trouble here. Immediately, just going to get locked down across the board. Moonfall gets to safety, but they're going to look to dive underneath this tower as well. Cease and desist, not available just yet. But over the wall, look who's there. It's Dio, putting the face of God right in there. And looking for more. They'll burn the ult to get out to safety.
Yeah, I mean, look, they do burn it out. I mean, look, Dio has made his presence in the Rift. Comes in to really solidify the diving on that back aspect. I don't even think River realized, because, I mean, River was recalling, thinking that they were safe. But look, don't worry. Ignore's just getting some vision out there.
I don't know about this.
Here comes Asta.
I really don't know about... Okay, yeah, burns the flash. I think you take that if you're Asta. You go Hex Flash, shout out. And LeBlanc has nothing, really.
I guess you got W. That's not really...
Yeah.
But that's it. But even then, they're mainly using that as more of an offense than a defense. The thing is, though, is from here, I mean, again, it looked like a clean escape, right? Like, it was like, oh, cool, awesome. We get out. Mundo goes, hey, don't worry. I'll be your meat shield. Take everything is. And that's just where Dio, he's just casually along. There's the flash into the literal array and just cleans in that pocket. Herald's used up, charging. We can go for a knockup very soon. TP coming in from Lofu.
Dio's in trouble, gets rammed into by the Herald, and it will be enough to find that kill. But how much more can they get off the back of that? EI, oh no. Falls on down all the same. There's 2 kills because somehow River died earlier on. I'm not sure exactly how that happened.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I will say the gravity field was actually pretty nice in the terms of delaying the Herald, I'm going to be honest. I think it actually really did slow down the pace, and I think it ultimately is probably what would have kept River alive longer in the terms of being able to apply the actual CC knockup chain to it. But it's just, moments too late. And, EI comes out. He's just left alone. He's got no one there. But, I mean, look, we're basically heading to that game slowly where really the picks that they have picked start to fall off a little bit. And when they're picking these fights that aren't really going anywhere, it's like, what goes on? What do you do? It really is starting to... They're basically closing their books, like I will say. Like their chances, the longer this game goes on, it really does dwindle. As Ignor's looking for something here.
Yeah, it does a little bit of damage, but just poking them out, just a few love taps here and there at this point. As they're looking to siege in towards that mid tower. Maybe they can find something here. They're a little bit caught for the moment. Dio in trouble. Insect, it's an outsec this time around, and they are running at them. Look at the Ragnarok straight to Dio's face. Might live for just a moment longer. The lethal tempo, hang on a moment. The boomerangs are working their magic. And Dio has to run for the hills as there is a massive Mundo straight in front of him. And they somehow turn things around 2 for 4. And they're going to look for Baron.
They will be looking for that Baron, and it looked like it was in Forever Blessed's favor. They got the 2 main key members out of the fight, right? But then hold up, here comes Sivir with the Mundo Heartsteel, which honestly was really therapeutic, carrying the bonk every time it of course occurs. But yeah, to get to the point, KO with his 2 items really is now starting to get himself into the game where we watch the W's play here. So obviously we'll start from the very beginning. Q comes in, LeBlanc gets CC'd. Here comes the Insect trying to attempt it, interrupted. Doesn't really mean much. Diana trying to get anything they can, literally locked down into oblivion. They find their target potentially, but a beautiful spell shield to literally...
They burn so
they
much
blocked
on it, yeah.
all CC. That spell shield is probably really what set it up. And damn, I just, looking at that, didn't realize it actually blocked everything. That was a good ass spell shield. But yeah. But look,
Back-to-back Oceans completed now, though.
Yes.
To be the devil's advocate here for Forever Blessed. Olaf is still very strong, heading towards that third item, heading towards that rank 3 ultimate as well. They still have a whole bunch of lockdown capabilities here. How much can they get off of this Baron power play is the question for QAQ, because they are still ostensibly in the lead, but the gold is going to become less and less relevant as time goes on.
I mean, look, it'll slowly start to dwindle, but I mean, they are pinging mid very heavily, so maybe they're going to look for something here. And I mean, we do have River on top side with the wave there. They could maybe turn their sights into something top. I'm not too sure. But I mean, really, it's just one team really groups. The other team groups in from the back here. But I mean, Goose needs to be careful as they look to set their targets with him, and they have.
Good insec on towards Goose. They find the priority target and they immediately lock him down. How much more can they get is the question. They send Thorfinn running. And now they're going to take top tower with them. They got a minute left to push with this Baron. And there's no one else really on the defense for the moment here, because they're all trying to deal with Yez on this Mundo. They'll get the tower, but they won't get the inhib. They're going to have to run for the hills, get back to safety, and then just rethink things here in this game as we reach the 25-minute mark. And suddenly these death timers are getting astronomical.
I mean, they really are. And I mean, look, QAQ are still executing a lot of their plays exceptionally well at this point of time. X flashing on over. Does he go for the hook? Ooh. Yeah, he's just gonna dash away, I guess, really is what Ignore will say. But yeah, I mean, to get back to the point, QAQ are still playing this game exceptionally well with their picks. Yes, they're making mistakes a little bit from time to time, but, I mean, they're punishing Goose right now. I mean, every time Goose feels like they're okay, they're not. Like, Goose goes, yeah, I've got my team with me, and then it doesn't matter. Like, they're still assassins that can nuke any target, and even though this looks like somewhat a moderatively LB buy, it just means nothing. And this LB damage.
Ooh, big chunk of damage, forces the flash as well. And yeah, I think the thing I'm noticing here is, hang on, a bit over-aggressive from EI. Oh, EI, maybe not the situation you want to be in. Hang on, manages to get out to safety. The Ragnarok lives for just a moment longer, but the depth charge not going to make too much of a difference here. Can they continue to engage? There is no grievous wounds to deal with this, and he's just healing on up, but look at the damage that this Victor is doing. Never mind, the Victor might not be doing any more damage because somehow there's a fight going on up above there. Gets out to safety, but Asta's gonna fall on the sword in sacrifice. They get another 3 kills on the board here, and I think I've sort of realized what's going on, right? Is that QAQ, like this double assassin, they are so slippery. Same as this Lee Sin, they're so slippery that they commit so many resources to try and lock them down, and it just allows the Sivir and the Mundo to start free hitting.
It very much did, and I mean, look, in the replay, we kind of noticed that, hey, you know, EI like does kind of admit there, still gets a 1-for-1 trade there, but this Olaf, to be able to kind of sit between 4 members and still claim a kill in return is also extraordinaire. But I mean, look, we kind of start to witness more on this Mundo, where he's kind of getting more tankier, and I think soon is locking in on that Spirit Visage, which, hey, we can see that now. And I mean, yeah, it's completed, and I should say that's actually also an Omens. They clearly had the Spirit Visage way long ago. I guess I'm just blind and they perhaps didn't pay attention to that. But I mean, this Mundo is getting to a stage with themselves where they're not dying.
Yeah.
Like, they're really not.
No, 100%.
And yeah, it's, I don't know. It's still, look, it will still stay. It's still anyone's game, but more of the map is being opened up. And I've actually kind of gone to realize bot inhibitor was taken. Yeah, bot inhibitor's been taken, so that's now going to add a lot more pressure for Forever Blessed to really kind of like pull anything that they can. And I'm sure QAQ should be able to take this dragon without too much pressure as that's getting started up at this point of time.
Yeah, they'll set that up to Soul Point here, and yeah, I mean, the itemization of this game is a little bit strange to me. Like, ideally, you'd want the Oblivion Orb on the Victor, right? Because Victor's going to be able to continue to keep that up with the Liandry's, with the damage over time that you can really do. And then the Randuins as well is somehow we're having a fight in mid lane. We'll have to see how this goes. Depth Charge going to land on towards Ignore. And the Chaos Storm not going to find too much else. It will just be the 1-for-0 trade. This Randuins is a bit odd to me because they don't really have crits. The only crit is the Sundered Sky. And that's like a once every 30 seconds or whatever for each champion, once every 12 seconds, whatever. I think you could have gone something else, maybe like a Bramble Vest or something to deal with this Olaf. I would have preferred as a choice.
Yeah, it's because from last I know, it only works on. Like, I mean, even I was going to say, like, I feel like the only person that's really going to work on is the Sky items. I don't really think it works on Shadow Flame, if I'm not mistaken, or like, you know, the AP crit items. You know, I don't think Randuin works like that. He only works on physical. But look at this Mundo. He's just going push as he pushes mid.
Absurd.
Baron got taken in the meantime, and I mean, they're now grouping up. That's actually 3 inhibitors down. That's going to now enable double siege minions, and they're looking for an end here.
2.5 minutes left of Baron, and there's no real consistent damage to deal with this Mundo. They just melt through the towers here. Now maybe they can find something. Ragnarok on towards back. EI lives even longer though, and they are just continuing to tear through them. QAQ, what a comeback after somehow losing last game at the very end of it all. Their Mundo is standing triumphant in the enemy fountain. They move one game further, and they keep off elimination just for now.
You know, we have to go to QAQ. We gave LeBlanc a little bit of a talking.
I think deserved.
Like, yeah, I will say it is deserved. Like, I think to pick the champion, it's a bit like, hold up, what's going on? But it ultimately still worked in many degrees where they kind of did what their job was, which is, hey, let me nuke a target at half HP and hope my team does the rest. And I just feel like that, yeah, Forever Blessed just kind of got a little bit lost. I don't feel like they were the team that we saw in first game where they seemed a little bit more unitized, grouped together. And, you know, I don't mean to shoot down the dead horse, but I mean, Goose, I feel like needs to really brush off whatever that game was making some very unfortunate, very questionable plays. But look, hey, there's still one more game to go. You know, not all faith is lost. You can still keep yourself in. But look, it is still a very nice series, I will say. Yeah.
I'm glad that we had 3 games as well.
Yeah, our first series didn't go that quickly, and now we get to enjoy FE game series here. Has anyone's preferred team switched up? I don't know. I think I did ask who you're gonna cast as first on. I was about to say cast Blessing. It's usually not that.
I think I still give it to Forever Blessed. Yeah. No, I think that this game felt like a bit of an anomaly, right? Like you mentioned, Goose had a really off game, right? But that's not to discredit the rest of the team, right?
Yes.
They had some incredible plays from Silofu in the mid lane. Tron was doing Tron things. You know, this team can pop off.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly can, and I think that's just where it's like, look, hey, you kind of just take the game for what it is, right? It's like, yep, it's unfortunate, brush it off, we continue to next. Because, I mean, we didn't get to see too much, even in the terms of for Dio as well. Like, you know, I think Dio last game got to do a little bit more with his ADC pick compared to this. Like, yeah, Victor was still fine, but it was just like, never really got to see it overly too much in any actual fights. It was just kind of, I'm here, I'm clearing waves. That's all. I'll be honest, it's about as much as I got.
Instead of a glorious revolution, we just got a sort of mild revolution.
Yeah, it was just sort of like a footnote on history rather than a... Yeah.
I think it's Victor before we discovered Hex Tech. It was just, I'm just a human.
Yeah, it's when he's like limping around. And he's like,
he's like, I'm enjoying my good stuff, and I'll leave it at that. But yeah, until the Hex Tech comes in. But look, either way though, I'll still say I still feel like Forever Blessed still have a chance to make their way back in. So I'm still a little bit more favored in them. But QAQ are definitely giving them a run for their money. Like, I'll be honest, they have been playing the early game and mid game far better at this point of time than what I've seen Bless play. Bless, I feel like Forever Bless have been playing the late game scaling a little bit more better. Like I will say, they had the later side. Not much into game 2, but hey, I think I'll leave it at that, as I'm sure we'll want to move on.
I will say the majority of this series, QAQ has been ahead, right? Like even in that first game, it was really the heroics of that bot lane, right? Of the Bard and of Tron, obviously as well, on that Mordekaiser that turned things around. But really, they were in control for a majority of that game, and they were on the verge of victory.
Yeah, they were.
So we'll have to see. Yeah, heading into game 3, it's a bit of a. It's still a toss-up. I genuinely don't know who's going to win this.
It still is. Like I don't think anything is really full, clean, set in stone. It really is, I guess, anyone's game. But I mean, I guess this time we've gotten rid of. I mean, another 5 champs are now gone and dusted out the way. And but look,
Yeah. I think those are our thoughts on the second game. I think we are just going to go to another 5-minute break to give our players some time to think about the games, think about their drafts, think about their game plan as we go into the third games of the series. Decider, winner takes all. And see you guys in 5 minutes.
That's so much fun, right? Full right.
Special guest. He's here.
I am so excited to be here. Let me tell you, not just because I'm here to cast the OCL, but because I'm with my main man, Mercury. Mercury, we're back at it, baby! And I'm so excited.
Oh, I'm hyped.
Oh yeah, this is a match
Yeah.
made in heaven. I can't really wait to get into it. I'm so excited, and thank you so much for having me here.
We had a pretty exciting first 2 games across the board in QAQ. They tied things up, and now to save themselves from elimination, they would need to reverse sweep Forever Blessed. They had a rough one, let's be honest. It was not looking good for them, especially for Goose, but oh, I don't know. I think that they, I don't know who's going to win. That's the thing. I think either of these teams deserves to go on. Yeah.
So break it down for me, Merc. Are we talking about the elimination game? This game. Is this game the elimination game?
This game is elimination. This is the 3rd and final game of the series. One of these teams is going home. They are joining Chef's Choice as that 7th and 8th spot eliminated. One of them will move on. One of them will face the loser of Cap versus of Dream Team versus Skullball. They will face the winner of the loser of that series. So a long and arduous journey ahead for whichever team wins this.
It's a climb.
Yeah.
It's a big climb.
We get these
It's
like
a crazy
behemoths.
climb.
These behemoths are coming together at the exact same time, like earlier on in the bracket, and it's going to lead to some very, very spicy matches, that's for sure.
Well, listen, Mercury, if I need spice, you're the man I go to, and I'm about to get some spice from you. I need you to break me down how the first couple games went. I'm not up to date. How did they go? What are we looking at here?
Well, game 1 was a pure engage comp from QAQ. It was the Jarvan, it was the Galio, it was the Kai'Sa, it was the Camille, and they were on the verge of victory. But there's a champion named Bard.
Oh, God.
And when Bard lands perfect CC, pixel perfect flash Q, hits the wall, stuns the Kai'Sa, and allows Tron the Pom, the legend himself, to get these Mordekaiser ult onto the hyperscaling AD carry. Hey,
Spelled doom. Spelled
hey,
doom.
what can you really do in that situation? What can you really do? And then game 2, they picked LeBlanc support and Diana mid.
Oh.
And they went
And it
with it.
worked. And it worked.
What? It worked? You're serious?
It won.
A
They
convincing
first
win?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Tron was trying his best. He was in the gulag fighting for his life on the Olaf, right? But they just had a Mundo who was just walking up, just bop on the Nexus. Easy.
That Mundo champion. And just checking, of course, we are in Fearless, so we won't be seeing that Mundo again,
Yes.
of course. Oh my God. This is going to be... Listen, this is going to be
20
really
champions
interesting.
off the board already.
Yeah, that's a lot of champions. There's not much for the play. Because these pivotal picks, but I mean, I'm sure anyone that wanted to play a bit of LeBlanc mid is no longer available to this LeBlanc support. So we saw the Camille support, we saw the LeBlanc support. What is your thoughts on this meta, Mercury? Are you loving how it's just a bit of
I'm
a
loving
wild
it.
fiesta?
I really am. I think that League is best when any champion is viable, right? That's why I've loved this mage meta so much. That's why I love that even despite this, right, Camille and these other supports are still seeing play because they are strong in that position. AD carries I'm going to go on blast for a moment here. 80 carries have been. Oh, hang on.
Very
I'll
sorry.
get into it.
I'm going to need to
Yeah.
cut you guys off here, but
Jeez,
we are getting to
I'll
draft
hold it
of
for now.
our
I'm ready.
third game. I will say goodbye to you guys. I believe it is Red Side for Forever Blessed. See you guys soon.
okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you
See
so
ya.
much, Ying. Oh my.
Yeah, I'm going to put 80 carry players on blast for a bit. They've been lucky. They have been lucky. Every other role in the game has had to learn multiple styles of play. Top laners have had to learn tanks and carries and all that kind of stuff. They've had to learn Vayne, right? Aurora. Junglers have had to learn mages at some point. They had to play Karthus. They were in the... 80 carries have been lucky. They have only had to play 80 carries for 16 years.
That's damn straight. They don't gotta care. They get to sit on their couches, their attack damage couches, and they don't have to worry about nothing. And finally,
And the moment,
they're complaining. They got all the problems in the world once a couple mages whisk their way down to their bot lane. And I'm wondering if we're gonna get any of those mage bans, but we're getting bruiser heavy bans. No Irelia, no Riven Mercury.
they have been just hampering down on Yez's champion pool all series long so far. The Syndra once again off the board here. And I'm excited to see, because last time we saw the Mbessa first round as well, taking that away from Yez. We might end up seeing it again. There it is. So first pick here on the board for the side of QAQ. What do they end up going with? I imagine they're going to go for their jungler, right? That would be the most expected one. But this series has been nothing but expected. So we are going to get the Orianna locked in first.
Now, I've got to take a look up the top, and I'm looking at no Nocturne lock-in, which means Orianna.
Nocturne.
The classic system of ball delivery is open. Is FEB looking to steal it potentially? It is. It's on the cards.
It's possible. EI has been pretty solid so far. There it is, the Nocturne. Okay, we can just go back and forth here and predict things. I think what would you want to go with that? Like maybe you go Cassiopeia's still on the board if you want to pair that with a mid lane. You've got Nivea that's still up. These are some solid picks you could go for. Rise is still up and available, and with a Nivea and Cassiopeia probably not going to be picked mid because of the Orianna, unless you do something crazy like Orianna bot. Rise could be an option that they go with here. We'll have to see.
Also open, and there it is. There's the Ari as well. I'm 2 for 2 right now. I'm 2 for 2. Okay.
We'll just go side by side. I'll predict QAQ. Okay. You predict Forever Blessed. I think. Oh, never mind. It was too fast. Kiana.
That. In what world?
Okay, Kiana, Orianna.
Kiana Jungle Mercury. What are we looking at here?
It must be Kiana Jungle for EI, which means we're probably gonna go for like some kind of tank top, I imagine. I'd love to see like a Cassante. Cassante has survived all of the bans so far, all of the picks. That would be my guess to go with, but Renekton is just as good.
The classic, the crocodile. You love him in the top lane. You see him very often in the top lane. What do we counter him with? I mean, there's a lot of options available. Have we been seeing many ranged top laners? I'm taking a look. Not really.
There was a Vayne. There was a Vayne versus an Olaf last series that didn't really go in the Vayne's favor. Vayne went like 0-11, but the Gnar works, right? The Gnar, especially with the lethal tempo build that you end up seeing. There's more dominant nowadays. This is a pretty solid topside for Forever Blessed.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really liking how Forever Blessed is building their comp here. Banning out the Leona, I can't believe that champion was still available. I don't know about you, Merc, but that champion it's absurd. The sheer amount of versatility and utility that provides, I hate seeing in my games.
Yeah, absolutely. Caitlyn going to be banned away, so no more Caitlyn Lux shenanigans to end off this draft. I imagine... Lucian Melio's still on the board if they so choose. I know some people in chat were a bit sick and tired of the Lucian Melio, and I can't blame them. We'll have to see what there ends up being here. Lulu. So no Yanara Lulu, but Yanara's still pretty powerful on her own.
Yeah, you could pair her with another enchanter, but losing that Lulu is a big nerf. And banning out the Lucian, okay, those classic bot lane combos are gone. It leaves us still a lot of ADCs to pick, but they might have to dig a bit deep here. Kai'Sa seems to be gone, Sivir gone, Ezreal gone, and then that must have been a Victor bot. Maybe it's time we bring out a mage bot. And there it is. It's the Hui.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, very, very interesting here.
What do you think about the Hui? Do you like
What do
the
they
Hui
pair
pick?
that with? I don't think I've ever seen Hui bot. I mean, it's solid, right? Aphelios. Do you go Aphelios Thresh? That's one of those sort of traditional bot lanes as well. I would like to see it just because it provides so much more support to this immobile carry when you really need it up against Ahri Nocturne. I would like to see the Thresh locked in here for Ignore. And then what do you go on the other side? I think Alistar works just as well. I'm not terribly, but I think I prefer the
There's your
Thresh.
call.
Yeah.
There's your
Yeah.
call. I mean, yeah, classic bot lane. So much utility, so much damage once this Aphelios comes online. This I don't expect. I really didn't expect to see a
Ooh,
Sona
okay.
come in here.
Okay.
Sona I don't love paired with a Hui, and I'm really hoping they go for the Braum. I think the Braum is a much better
Yeah.
pickup, and I think that's absolutely the right play. You don't need an Enchanter with something like a Hui, I feel.
I think like Hui also like the auto attacks. The Rels I think better. I think I prefer the Rel, especially with the pairing of the Magnet Storm with the little like E corridor thing that Hui does. I forget the names of his abilities. He's got like 10 of them.
You can't keep
But
track.
yeah, the like EQ, the corridor, the slowing, and all that kind of stuff. Your main source of damage, really. That's a pretty solid combo that I love to see. Honestly,
Merc with
I
these
think I
comps.
prefer Forever Blessed's draft, all things considered.
See, I wish I could be like, oh no, I disagree, and here's the arguments why. I'm straight on your tail with that. Forever
Yeah.
Blessed coming in, it's a classic comp, it's a strong comp. I'm looking at Nocturne, Paranoia on that Orianna. She's not allowed a moment to breathe. I mean, Renekton isn't going to get much of a lead with this range top. Your best bet
And
is
what's your
bot
ball
lane.
delivery?
Yeah, yeah, the Orianna seems
Maybe
like such a
it's-
strange pickup. The Kiana?
Maybe it's, I guess it's Kiana or like a slice and dice or like a Thresh just hooking someone and then like rushing in. Otherwise, you kind of have to use the orb defensively, which is always not a great position you want to be in, right? If you have to be in the position where your orb and the shockwave is used defensively, then you're sort of down a massive resource.
Yeah, I mean, the main point of that champion is just you put on the back foot. And if I'm going to be honest with you, I just think pairing Ahri, you see it with the Pantheon a lot, pairing Ahri with this like global ultimate champion makes these immobile mages, this Orianna, I mean...
Fear for their life.
Yeah. I'm going to count you right now. We're talking 3 ganks in that mid lane without a single
Yeah.
doubt in my mind. If Asta knows what's good, they're not going to let Yes breathe at all.
Yeah, no, 100%. And they have been targeting this bot lane as well. Asta, especially in game 1, on that Bard was consistently ganking top lane and really making it difficult for Yez to play the game. But honestly, looking over all the comps, like all the champions in the comps right now, I honestly think I would have preferred the Alistar
Oh, really?
for the support, just because it's more consistent ball delivery. And I think the ball delivery is the main source of your damage. If you compare that with the Supreme Display of Talent, you can get everyone on top of that. That's really where you can start to shine. As we head on in towards game number 3, one of these teams will be going home by the time the Nexus has exploded.
Yeah, and both teams desperately do not want that outcome. Not to harp on old things, Mercury, but honestly, what you said rings so true, and I much would prefer this Alistar over the Thresh. I mean, Thresh can be a bit of a ball delivery system.
Oh, look at
but,
this.
Oh, wow, look at this.
So beautiful.
Where are we right now? Are we in OSA or are we at Worlds right now? Look at that. Beautiful. Oh my God.
We just need like a David Attenborough style documentary voiceover as we glide along Summoner's Rift.
Oh my God. And the production value has gone through the roof. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be, I guess the key point of this game, where River can find an angle to get this Orianna ball in, and if they can use maybe this Thresh or this Orianna, but if this Kiana, but if they can't, I think that's where QAQ's comp falls down heavily.
Yeah, absolutely here. And we can already see a bit of an attempt from Teo to gain control of this lane. They want to hit level 2 as soon as they can. It looks like they will, right? Bone plating going to be burned early on. And they're sort of on the back foot, Dio and Asta, in this situation.
Yeah, I want to take a brief look at the summoner spells, and something that points out to me is the Ghost on Felios. They're playing for late
you
game.
need that.
He's going to be the carry. I mean, Nocturne pop ult. Yes, okay, you've got a Thresh to potentially peel you off, but at the end of the day, you're so reliant on yourself, and your pretty much lifeline is going to be that Ghost and Flash, because it's going to be really struggle. It's going to be a struggle streak for this Aphelios to survive against the likes of an Ahri, Spirit dashing at you, a Nocturne dashing at you, and a Rel trying to get on top of you. So all eyes are going to be on this Aphelios.
Absolutely. Nice hook to land things to start it off, but ultimately I don't think you'd want to land that situation because it did mean that he did miss that cannon. So although they get some damage, they do get the heal as well. That's traded, but ultimately, I think you prefer that trade if you are forever blessed. And then they miss the cannon as well.
Ooh, then it just turns a little bit sour. Junglers finishing their clear, and both are passing for this bot side, so we might see a scuttle. What's your preference on the Kiana into Nocturne Odin scuttle contest?
I think, like, Kiana's got a lot of bursts, especially in those early levels. It's very hard to counter that. Looks like they will just be going to opposite ones this time around, but if Nocturne can survive that initial engage, have the spell shield to block that damage, when you pair the fear with the ramping attack speed you get, with the extra damage that you get from Conqueror plus your Q, it starts to get a little bit untenable to make a long-term engage here. But for the side of QAQ, they will just be farming, keeping things stable this time around. Hang on, never mind. They're going to look to fight, or at least skirmish, say a bit of how do you do in the top side here, but they're not going to commit to anything. But QAQ did forego taking that scuttle, at least for now. So we'll be grabbing that, then probably just doing a clear again.
Lufu taking a pretty heavy trade. I mean, the Orianna, people really underestimate just how strong its Ogre presence is. You ramp up those, the passive on the auto attacks, and it can quickly get out of hand. And something else that's pretty miserable is this Renekton into Gnar. Isn't this matchup just so hard for the Renekton to find an angle in?
I mean, he needs to start Doran's shield just to live. Like, that's how miserable this lane is. Hang on a moment. EI looking for something. They've got a few minions to work with. It looks like they will just find the kill just like that. It's clean. It's simple. They take the flash, but ultimately, you're happy with how clean that dive went, and it went over to the mid lane. So, probably going to have a lost chapter on the back.
Yeah, you are so content with a dive like that, a clean dive like that. And only losing your flash, I mean, you get a nice wave in, you have Ahri losing the whole wave, and you can start building up a lead, get that lost chapter. But do you have a Nocturne up top here?
Yes, spotted on that ward, which was crucially placed earlier, so he is aware of what's going on, Mr. Yez, and will live to tell the tale this time around. No Ocean Soul this time around, so we will buck the trend, because I feel like I think every single game today has been Ocean Soul, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, I think that's one of the craziest souls. It's either Cloud Soul or Ocean that just changed the game completely.
Oh yeah. No, 100%. So we'll be off the table this time around, and we already see a bit of posturing towards that objective. Yeah, this is how this lane's going to go. You're sort of just consigned to it. I will say the one factor, despite the loss in Game 2 from Forever Blast, and even in that situation, Tron looked like the most dominant player in this matchup. Oh, nice buffer. Hang on a moment. Might be able to do something there. Never mind, the flash and the heal will keep him there, but it is spotted and quite heavily pinged that flash and that ult is down. So we might be able to expect some kind of paranoia gank towards that top side soon.
Yeah, that was so expensive just to live there from the Renekton. Cost your flash, cost your dominus, and once again, I mean, getting those plated steel caps first, great for survivability, but you don't have any pressure, so even if this Kiana comes top, you know, this Gnar is probably going to be easily able to hit his Gnar bar up, get that Mega Gnar, get that extra health, and survive whatever gank that this Kiana intends to do. So we need to start thinking about where else can the Kiana go. And, I mean, we've seen it in mid, and I just think you keep going mid, keep looking for Ahri. It's gotten a bit harder. Ahri's got the Spirit Dash now, but honestly, your options are either mid or this bot lane.
Yeah, you don't really have many options to work with, really. Like, even if you're trying to gank top, you know, Na is probably going to stack up lethal tempo just incredibly fast in these trades and just hyper rush his way to safety there. He's got the flash as well, which the Renekton doesn't, so will be able to use that to his benefit there. We're just going to continue to threaten in this jungle and get some information.
No flash on the neck. The setup is just so weak. Yes, okay, you've got the point and click slice and dice, but ooh, there was a bit of a... He used the ultimate there from Tron just for a bit of pressure, potentially. Maybe they want to fight these grubs, although they're not up for Paranoia seems to come down there. Thresh hit the hook. Not enough.
I was muted. My microphone.
Sorry about that, Merc.
No. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. My microphone just decided I had to restart it. That's why I was quiet there. Sorry about that, chat.
That's all good. I mean, that was a nice little, a little 1-2 from the Nocturne, follow-up Spirit Rush from Siloku. Picking up a kill. Very
And Tron
nice.
lived.
Yes, and Tron lived, which is a great boon for this Na, who's already ripping ahead. And yes, okay, we use Flash, but still, not having that death means you're going to capture a little bit of extra gold and, more importantly, a bit of prio. But still not enough prio to secure the grubs, which Qiyana are going to take. Is going to take pretty freely here.
Yeah, zoomed in. This is intimate here.
Yeah, wow, look at this. The Nectar. 1-on-1. Now the Dragon. Trading of the grubs versus Drake. But if I'm honest with you, Mercury, the split pushing power of Forever Blessed isn't really...
Yeah, it's a bit mediocre.
Yeah, so you're fine given these grubs because these Drakes are just going to start stacking up and be so much more important to you.
Yeah, we've seen that a lot throughout the course of today where, like, the grubs, the team that's ahead feels comfortable giving away the grubs, right? Because they don't really... The other team's not really using them to much impact and they can get objectives elsewhere on the map. As Mountain Soul will be our second one today, so Chemtech, if Infernal, there's still a few options to go with there as we head in towards that Soul point. Oh, look at the spacing from Tron.
Oh my god. I haven't seen this lethal tempo Na too often, but this is
Oh, it's
crazy.
been a menace. It has been a menace in, especially like the LCP and all that. It's a menace.
It's strange because, you know what, now that I think about it, you know, lethal tempo Na, that makes sense. You know, you get more auras out, you get more rage, but it seems kind of new. Like, I feel like people weren't really sure
definitely. I'd say probably since like MSI maybe is when people started realizing it. Like it's relatively recent, all things considered, like the past few months. Hopefully we see some normal standard builds though across the board. We had an Imperial Mandate rush on Syndra earlier today, so...
Oh really? How'd that go?
Not great, not great.
Yeah. I can't imagine.
It was into a Galio. It was into another like Jarvan Galio Camille Kai'Sa comp. So
you gotta try what you can. Ultimates are all available. No dragons. There's no really reason to fight. But something I want to point out is culls are getting complete. They're a little bit opposing here. More importantly, the cull on a Felios. Only 40 stacks to go, and Nas picked up a cull. But first item of the game is going to be the Malignance on that Ahri. Now, these skirmishes become so much more in the favor of Forever Blessed, who already have the Paranoia, but now is going to have even shorter time on these dashes to just take control of river, jungle. And the eyes will be on where they want to take this control, really.
Profane Hydra as well for EI, so going to be quite potent if he can lock down one of those priority targets. But that's a big if, because you don't really have many options there. It's basically just Dio, because Lofu can just run away.
Qiyana top.
Might be looking for something here. Dominus going to pop Supreme Display of Talent available, but not going to be used just yet. They might not even need it. Stacking up that first strike nice and clean there. And they're going to give the kill on over towards the Renekton. Meanwhile, engage on towards the mid. A beautiful charm through the minion. Spell Shield was perfect, and there's the kill. And it is traded back across the map here. Solid start to this mid-game here.
Yeah, it looked a little bit disastrous there, right at the start, you know, losing your one of your best players. It's not done though, Merc.
Ooh. Forced to flash out. That's one of the weaknesses of the Lantern. We've seen it time and time again, whether it's placing the wards on or, you know, targeting the CC over the Lantern so you can't escape there. That's a massive resource going down there. Both of these carries are without their flashes.
Yeah, and those are so pivotal. Speaking of pivotal, the charm from Silofu, I mean, I know you saw that. He's kind of looking for something here, no, just being annoying, a general menace. But yeah, I mean, what we saw there is that classic, you know, the Nocturne Ari. River's having a bit of a hard time to find a footing, but they're doing well, keeping at least somewhat equivalent on CS. This game is very even right now, Merc. We're very sort of chilled out, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a nice change of pace from the chaos we've had so far. I will say that. This is more like what I've come to expect. This is standard ethical League of Legends.
I love that term, ethical league. Is this an ethical gank coming in from this knock?
Oh, we'll have to see. It's a 3v3 for the moment. The 4v3 as EI is on the way. The box goes down and Goose rather is going to be in a bit of trouble. Ooh. Duck goes on down, and now they'll claim a bit of the jungle with that. What more can they get across the map after that death, though, is the question.
Yeah, I mean, they've picked up the Nocturne kill, and right before Drake as well, you've got 40 seconds on that Mountain Drake. You can take the whole top side, besides the buff, and then you can set up his bot side, because he's still not going to be up until in 3 seconds, although they might look for... No, I was thinking they're looking for a dive. No, but they have full prio to look for...
Ooh, they will just dive on in. They'll burn the Spirit Rush for it, but the snipe will be there to get the assist as well. And this Aphelios is having a no good, very bad game.
Yeah, Paranoia.
Burning towards the mid lane, and River's low for the moment, but just chunked to half and stays alive there now.
Might have been a bit of a miscommunication there. I mean, the Paranoia going out while Silofu was already bought and had used the Spirit Rush. Maybe it was just to get Prio to take the Drake as... Oh my god, look at this.
Yeah, I mean, just a bit of overextension, and that's the weakness of this Nocturne, right? Is that you don't really have a lot of mobility. You sort of rely on your ult to get in and then just walking while hitting.
Yeah, and Orianna does have access to, you know, that little bit of movement speed burst, which I believe at its peak, if Nocturne lands the Shadow, it's not enough to escape from the fear, but in this case, it was enough to at least get far enough away so that you weren't in too much of a threat. But Dragon is going to be up, and Kiana is going to start it, looking for it. Is there a possibility of congestion here?
Potentially, right? They're a little bit far away. Don't really have any TP available to them, although there is Yez's Renekton that could be. But they're running out of time if they so choose to go for it. Paranoia is up and available. Are they going to commit? No, they're not going to. They're just going to give it up for the moment and walk away with their tail between their legs. It will be Infernal Soul this time around, as the map going to slowly take course and then change itself here.
Yeah, Infernal Soul changing. It does change the map, which potentially could have the impact of suiting Kiana, who utilizes, of course, the map for her different abilities. I do want to point out that was a confident play from Forever. They weren't looking to give that Drake freely, and it's something that I think if they showed a bit more proactive, they absolutely could have fought that. Silofu's ult was up in about 4 seconds. Yes, okay, you didn't have the Paranoia, but honestly, engaging onto the Orianna, who was in the backline and had a bit of peel to Thresh, wouldn't have been the play anyway. So I would have loved to see that aggressiveness, but at this stage, once again, we're pretty even. It's not even, it's barely a 1k gold lead to the side of QAQ. And a lot of that is just on this Kiana.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it was a bit of timidness, right, from you know, they only now are hitting their item breakpoints, right? They've got the Triforce, the Hexplate, and the Lichbane all available on that back now. But I think they're looking ahead to next fight. Right? Giving over one Mountain Soul, one Mountain Dragon, it's not great, but you can live it, right? Especially when potentially if you'd taken that fight and the items, especially the active effect of those items, would have made the difference, and then you end up losing and putting yourself in an even worse position. Yeah, we'll have to see. As might be looking for a bit of a gank bot here. The moment they spot Orianna, they might look to go for it. There it is. The Paranoia to come on through. There's no follow-up, no safety there just now. You're not going to look to dive, but there's the Spiraling Disaster. Not going to land. Shockwave back into the tower. It does a lot of damage. Oh, manages to find her with the passive, the pop.
Wow, that is crazy.
Somehow.
That is enough damage just with the Blackfire Torch and a Haunting Guise. I mean, it was a nice little sidestep from River to dodge the Spiraling Disaster, but it still spelled the end or painted the end by this Trey Dion play. Really nice to pick up another kill on this Orianna, because now, even though she had kept a bit of a lead, the respawn timer, a very long time, and Psylocke can rip ahead on CS, almost a nice 20 CS lead.
Absolutely can, and now we see 2 items just about completed here for the side of Dio. And for Teo, I am not a fan of this start. Yeah, like Stormrazor, I would have much preferred to see the Kraken Slayer gives you some extra, movement. Typically what we see from these AD carries now is they'll go Kraken Slayer, they'll go PD to bounce up their movement speed even more, and then they'll go for like an IE, or they'll go for their like LDR item, right? Their armor pen. But Stormrazor Rush is a bit weird to me.
Yeah, listen, I'm honestly as stumped as you are. Can you pinpoint, is it for the Nocturne engage? Is it to... what's its actual point here?
Because it just gives you like a burst of movement speed on one attack, right? It doesn't actually have inbuilt, like its stats are good, but it costs a lot. It's a very expensive item. So you're even further behind. You can already see right now, he's basically half an item behind Dio at this point, even though the gold is practically even because of that cult.
It does seem like a bit of a waste as well, because as we've seen throughout the game, Goose, this Nocturne is aiming for River, is only really aiming for this Orianna. And of course, late game, this Aphelios will be more of a threat, but sacrificing your early game by getting that Stormrazor for maybe the sole purpose of escaping this Nocturne fear, it's, I don't know, it seems like a big commitment that, I mean, we'll have to see if it pays off. I'm waiting to see a Nocturne engage on this Aphelios and see if he can run away from the fear with the Stormrazor.
Yeah, absolutely. And looks like we won't have to wait too much longer, because 40 seconds remain until this dragon is online. And eyes have to be on EI, right? Has this Herald in hand. We've seen a fair few times.
Oh, no.
Ooh. Okay, Spiraling Disaster is going to miss, so only chunk to half health. Yeah, we've seen the Herald charges be used to absolute efficiency so far. Looks like they're just going to use it as a bit of a distraction to buy some space. Never mind. Hang on a moment. He's going to make a massive engage in towards the tower. Oh. What are we doing here?
Where did he go?
We have absolutely failed our driving test. He's running for the hills. The Paranoia finds the kill, and that was disastrous.
You're not getting your learners, you're not getting your Ps, you ain't getting your license with a driving like that. That is an insane one. I've got to ask you, Merc,
we call that a low ATAR play.
Damage pop though? The
No.
Rift Herald didn't. No, look how much. I'd love to see a replay. I know that's not possible, but I'll watch back the game. It seems like that tower took a lot of damage. But I'll tell you what they do. They are going to get is that second Drake picked up for Forever Blessed. That Infernal Drake. It's going to be a lovely boon for this team that has a lot of burst available to them.
That was buns. There's no other word. That was bad. That was... That was maybe the worst. That wasn't even close. That wasn't even close.
That's crazy.
I can't even like use flowery language. That was just bad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, I can't defend it. I don't know the reason. Let's move on and let's take a look at how the game's going. And okay, we lost the dragon. We're actually still ahead on gold. This Kiana. I know that looked bad from the Kiana, but she's still 1.3k gold ahead. That is something. What we are seeing throughout this game is a really interesting matchup.
Oh, hang on. Immediately, bit of deja vu, and will be another kill going over towards Goose. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, I am so happy to be interrupted to see an Orianna die every single time to a knock.
Wow.
I mean, I hate that champion. Listen, I'm a biased caster.
Oh, hang on a moment. Spiraling Disaster going to be used as we go in towards the replay. Hang on a moment. We got action happening all across time and space here. And somehow no one's dead just yet. It will be Dio finally falling on down, but it is traded back on towards EI, on towards the back line, looking for the fear. It will be enough. Finds another into the wall. As just yet is left standing with a crash down. Finds it. There's 4 kills for Goose. And that goal lead has immediately flipped to 1.5k in the opposite direction. River, hang on a moment. Why are we TPing in there?
Okay, maybe to save the tower?
No, he's not going to die
way.
here, is he?
Please do not die.
Running
Look
the
at the slows
hyper. Hang
the
on.
Nile.
No! It's all falling apart for QAQ here. This has been a disastrous 2 minutes for them.
Mercury, this is the mental. Oh, we can see once again. We need you to understand. This was the worst play of all time, is what we're showing you now.
That was joking. A bad Herald.
It was
Look,
a rough
I
one.
peaked in Platinum, and I could have driven Herald better than that. I just would have not gone in the Herald when I'm half health and there's 3 people nearby.
Listen, it was a rough one, and I want to talk about a fate worse than death. You know, they talk about Tartarus. You know, they talk about Tantalus stuck in the pool forever, eat the food or drink the water. We talk about Syphilis pushing up the rock. It is its own torture to be this Orianna into a Nocturne Ari. There is no way you can play the game, and just getting flashed on by the Gnar there is the icing on the cake, truly.
Yeah.
It's rough.
I really don't know about this one. And it sucks because QAQ has been in control for so much of this series. But just like Game 1, they weren't able to close things out here.
I do think there has been, I mean, this comp is falling down a little bit. I understand where the comp comes into play. I actually think this Qiyana is the key. You know, there's a lot of pieces. We need the Gnar, we need the Paranoia, we need the Ari, and then you have the Rel and a Hui as a backup, and it's a good backup. But if the Qiyana can get off a good, display of excellence, it does actually shuttle those pieces down and can bring down the stack of cards. But we haven't seen it act as that tool yet. So there's still certainly a possibility, and something I also want to point out is the first time we've seen it, Merc, the Storm Razor didn't help, and this Nocturne just got on that Aphelios.
Color me surprised.
Yeah. As something I'm loving from Silofu, speaking of itemization, is bringing out the Shattered Arm Guard. You know, we're not looking, the Seeker's Arm Guard, we're not looking to get more damage, we're just looking for survivability. So in the case that Qiyana does get this combo that could rip apart your combo, or your comp, you've got the backup of that Golden, and they might need it because Dragon's up in 45 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely, and they've got, with the Shred of the Bloodletters Curse from Dio as well, they've got a whole lot of effective magic damage with the shredding of the MR as well. So EI going forward there, just a little bit of a poke damage, doesn't burn the Banshee Veil, the Edge of Night rather, so crucially enough still has that available here. But I feel like this comp is this is the peak of its power. It's not going to get any stronger than this. In fact, it's going to get weaker, right? As the items come online, as Goose gets the GA, as these defensive items start becoming available, the ability to just consistently burst down these carries decreases every single minute here. As it looks like, I think they're going to go for the Dragon. They're going to go for Soul Point Baron here. They're trading the top tower and they're threatening Baron, I think, at this point. It's a very odd gambit to go with. I don't know where I don't know what the intention is. I think they're going to try and Death Bush and just hope something good happens.
Yeah, listen, if I'm honest, Merc, that was a messy form of comms there. There were a couple pings on Baron. Okay, we'll give him Dragon, we'll trade out the
It's a bit hard to fight though, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't have the follow-up, and honestly, it was a good choice not to make. And instead, they're angling for a bush cheese.
No, Goose, no. Oh, that's bad. That's unfortunate. That's not even bad. He just didn't expect it at that point. Might be able to find something back in trade though. They're burning the Spiraling Despair. There's a Mega Gnar on the way. Shockwave and a nice dodge from Silofu. Burns out the Dominus. And the Na is exhausted for the time being, so won't have the ultimate for a bit of a fight here. So it is just a 1-0 at the end of the day.
Yeah, and maybe that's how QAQ can bring it back. A couple bush cheeses, catching out that Nocturne. I mean, it might be the key, although this fight might not be over yet, Merc. They're starting Baron.
Yeah. Might not be. They're TPing on in. There's no Nocturne alive just yet. There will be an ult available when he's back up. Let's see how much they can do. Crash down in towards the center. Asta trying to find something. Supreme Display of Talent hits on towards multiple. They find the first. They get a second. Hang on a moment. QAQ. They're turning things around. The gold is back to dead even.
And that there is the House of Cards falling to this Qiyana, the upset angle. We saw it there. It's certainly possible. And if that happens a couple more times, QAQ can take out this game. And to think that it potentially all started from a simple bush cheese onto this Nocturne. All eyes will be on this Qiyana.
Absolutely will. As we look at this replay, they just burn so many resources trying to deal with this Renekton. And meanwhile, just this Qiyana gets to free hit, right? Like, despite all the negative stuff that happened earlier, is still a 3.5 item Qiyana that's level 14. Like, this is a powerful assassin at this point in the game. And if the assassin's going to free hit, she'll do damage.
Oh yeah, and speaking of damage, this Aphelios champion, I mean, it's the 200-year champ for a reason, has finished the Infinity Edge.
Yeah.
If he can angle his gun combination right, what you want to be looking for, that white-red, if he can angle those right, if he can burn that blue, pick up a white-red, specifically for this next Drake, I don't think there's going to be another sort of Baron contest, but if you can get your gun combos right before 2 minutes, actually a very tricky customer to deal with. But I do want to mention Merc as well. I mean, you said it at the start of the game, and you've been dead right. Have we seen a big Orianna ball yet?
Not really. Not that I can think of. There's been like 1 target, 2 target, right? But nothing major in terms of a team fight.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's an okay thing. And this is my reasoning. I sound like a bit of a crackhead here, but I think there's a chance that Forever Blessed is not ready for a surprise, you know, command shockwave. And if Orianna can get a crazy one combined with the Qiyana, it could shake up this game in ways that maybe Forever Blessed don't predict.
Yeah, no, absolutely could. And it's all going to come down to this next, probably the next dragon. I imagine they're going to look to flip it, right? Because you can't really start it if you are Forever Blessed in this situation, right? And now you sort of want to wait for Goose to get Guardian Angel likely on this back, right? That's the big item breakpoint. Theo's close to the Shadow Flame. You know, you've got that under your belt. Ideally, you'd love for Tron to get the next item on board as well before they begin fighting. Because these are their big carries. These are the big sources of team fight consistency from them. And they really need them to be in as good of a position as they possibly can.
Yeah, and what we're actually seeing is a bit of a slow approach from both supports here. 40 seconds, and neither team has fully started to look for River Prio. We've got this Na in this classic bush, but he is going to be forced off if Thresh just even approaches, because the rest of the team's here. And honestly, QAQ will take bottom River Prio. And with this, I will say, with the Infernal Drake, I mean, these Qiyana ults, this can change everything, truly. Absolutely
can, yeah. Without that center wall as well, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to land some consistent ults. Whether you'd like from like a Mountain Drake, for instance. But still, it's not a terrible situation they find themselves in. Guardian Angel, crucially, going to be completed here from Goose. So 3 items, has some survivability just like EI does. And Supreme Display of Talent, they immediately turn on towards Dio and they're going to find the kill. Big chunk of damage with the Spiraling Despair, though, changes things completely, and it will mean that they have the inside track towards this soul because River falls on down again. I believe it was a charm who was able to land that. And so now, the 4v4, it probably favors Forever Blessed, at least for the moment, while they have the numbers advantage in the pit, but there's no one committing to it just yet. Big hook going to land, but it is just on towards Asta for now. There is a lethal tempo stacking, and Tron has the Gnar bar ready and waiting to go. TP from Dio in 12 seconds if they can wait for it. Goose not going to have the smite in time, and they will secure it and they'll hold out for the moment.
But holding out is honestly what QAQ need and desperately want. We can see here, there was actually a beautiful flank from Silofu during all of this, catching out River. But maybe it was a planned sacrifice.
There's your three-man shockwave.
Yes, there it was. And you know what? It did impact the game. I mean, they got the dragon from it by all accounts. Now, I mean, now the threats have started a little bit. The main one is Tao here with this Infinity Edge. That Shield Bro probably finishing up pretty soon. Nocturne and Ari are going to be looking directly at this Aphelios, and it's up to, honestly, this Thresh to peel them away, or, I should say, the Kiana to use that Supreme Display of Excellence to also peel and not to engage.
And this is a full supportive Thresh build. There's no extra fluff on it. It is Knight's Vow Mikhails with the Solstice Slay. Like, this is a very supportive Thresh, as EI just burned the Kiana ult on a Rel.
You know that pivotal piece of the best thing that QAQ had going for them? That's on the Rel now. Yeah. So for the next roughly 40 seconds, we're just going to have to wait because QAQ cannot fight, and hopefully, ideally, Forever Blessed take advantage of that.
Honestly, you're happy if you're them, right? Because every moment that you manage to burn is a moment closer towards that Infernal Soul, right? That's your big break point there. And if they can time it so they can either flip the Baron for the Dragon, or if they can get the Baron off of a fight soon and then use the Prior from that to set up for Dragon, you're happy, you're laughing.
Oh, absolutely. But I've got to say, I mean, yes, okay, there's a pretty much a 3k gold lead on the side of QAQ, which is very impressive solely based on the fact that they're down a couple kills, and it's a real testament.
It's basically all on EI.
Yeah, it's a testament to EI's farming, actually. Honestly, that's where we have to put it. And of course, the Aphelios is farming. I mean, really keeping ahead of the curve, keeping on track. But we're getting a bit of a trigger pull moment where I'm curious to see how Nocturne wants to pull the trigger, although here we go.
Oh, massive combo. There's the ball. That's the delivery, but again, it is just onto Asta, so take it with a grain of salt because they burn two crucial ultimates just to deal with a Rel.
Yeah, and this Rel Hui is a good backbone of your comp, but the true comp is these top three. And is it enough to do Baron with just a Rel down? We're going to have to see, potentially.
And the Banshee Veil is down for EI as well, right? So crucially, won't have that spell shield available as this Baron is ticking. It's going by fast. They're going to have to give it up because they just shred through it. So they will have the Baron for another 3 minutes. That gives them plenty of time to set up for this Dragon.
Take a look at the replay here. I mean, it's a brilliant display of excellence for sure onto a Rel, but I mean, you still secure yourself the Baron, so you're a happy little chappy there. And now they can use to siege towers. I've got to say, it should be understood that Dio on this wave makes it very hard to easily see. You have access to that huge, as you can see right on your screen, that huge wave clear, so even Baron minions are going to have a hard time coming into a play, so you're going to either have to utilize split pushing, but if you do that, you might give River Prio, and this next Drake is key to the game.
Absolutely is, and EI is full build now, right? With that Serpent's Fang completed, won't find too much value on many of the shields, other than that locket that will come out from Asta. But even still, the stats alone on Serpent's Fang are incredible, right? So we'll have that up and available 38 seconds until that Infernal Dragon spawns. And then from there, we'll have to see how they go, because the gold lead from this power play, it's half done already. So if Forever Blessed can continue to stall, we'll have to see how it goes.
No.
Misses the Supreme Display of Talent. Immediately tries to go in. Magnastorm looking for the first, the initiation. Not going to find it just yet over the wall. Nice charm lands, and the Spiraling Despair completely melts them on down. That's a triple kill for Dio. Over the wall, flash into your face. And there's a fourth straight as you'd like it there. Goose looking for another one. Over the wall, EI. Oh, that's not great. Oh no. Is this going to be a quadra kill on over towards the Hui is the question. It is. The Splinter down from the sky there finds that quadra, and just like that, Forever Blessed turn this entire game, this entire series on its head. That's another perfect smite.
Yeah, wow. We did
That's
see
our
that.
second
We get a replay.
today.
Take a look at this Kiana. This is such a
that's
pivotal dodge.
unfortunate.
An amazing dodge, honestly, from Tron there, and a really unfortunate ult. And the rest of the team fight, without that key piece, without that linchpin of your comp, it just falls down. And every card slowly falling down, especially this Aphelios, who almost has the damage to clear out the Ahri, but a really good use of Zhonya's. And honestly, from that, we're free to take over the game. I mean, this is the problem. It's so obvious that Forever Blessed is aware that the only angle that they can lose is through this Kiana, and if they just keep showing the respect that they're showing to this Kiana, they can just control every team fight with this way. And that's what we're seeing in this game. And now, oh god, Merc, they've added on to an Infernal Soul, so all the damage from the Hui is there's a whole lot more coming in.
Yeah, this Kiana is like the length and the width of this comp, right? Nothing else happens without this Kiana having an impact.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, we've got a couple more items on the board. The question is if they make a difference, and I'm not thinking they do. The main difference is now that this Nocturne has GA, and the fact that it wasn't popped in this Dragon fight, he can make any risky play he wants and come out on top, because they've got to wait so much time for the respawn. Silofu can just get in there with the Spirit Dashes. It's certainly looking rough for our dear QAQ.
Absolutely is, as they're looking to siege on in. Baron is down for the count. And now 4 minutes until that all-important Elder Dragon, if this game even goes that far, right? So it will mean if a team takes Baron on spawn, they'll still have it in time. Massive engage there from Siloku, catches out River. And now they can look for even more. Supreme Display of Talent does supremely nothing. Massive Magnet Storm in towards the back line. And now this spiraling disaster immediately melts down another. They've got this Gnar ult if they so choose, but they're happy with what they were able to claim already. They take the gold lead again. And now Forever Blessed, they are looking lucky.
Yeah, you're not safe under your tier 2 there, River, even with a Zhonya's. A beautiful sort of lose-lose situation made from Goose there to pop the ult and just hold it, see if the Orianna even survives after she goes golden, and the fact that she doesn't mean you can just enter that fight anyway and impact it, as we can take a look at the replay. I mean, a really nice little ball, but it's actually the slow that Hui applies. Silofu, I mean, that charm would have hit 10 times out of 10, go golden, doesn't even matter, and then it's honestly, once again, another unfortunate Kiana ult. It doesn't hit any key members, and you're fine losing a rel because you're pretty much winning this team fight, taking that tower. And all the while, we cannot ignore how much zoning that this Hui has created. The amount of space. I mean, you talk about Victor being the control mage. Hui here, so close.
They're still going in. Paranoia just immediately melts through this Thresh, who is not that tanky with the build. And they're going to use that as the go to set up all throughout this jungle for that Baron. They're going to have Silofu play the guard duty here, watching the angles, waiting carefully. Now, where are they going to strike first? Are they just going to commit to taking down this Baron? It looks likely. It is melting so far. They've got a lot of tools to keep them out of the pit. Are they going to flip this? It looks like they are. EI in a bit of trouble. Byleth, or rather Tron going all the way in. Magnustorm blows up River once again, and now they are turning this game all around. The fear sends this 80 carry running for the hills. It finally burns on down. There's another Spirit Rush, and it goes completely wide, and the snipe just locks, loads, and fires. And just like that, QAQ. What a performance they showed earlier in this series. But Forever Blessed, they look to stay alive in this tournament.
And a strong endgame performance from Forever Blessed. It was a bit of a struggle. I mean, I saw the potential for this Aphelios to come back, but a really well-played game either way, and they are going to take this game through. We can look at the replay as the Nexus turrets fall. I mean, a beautiful game, Mercury, you have to admit.
Absolutely was a beautiful performance from both of these teams, but only one of them will move on towards the next round of playoffs. And unfortunately, we'll be saying goodbye to QAQ. It was good seeing them in this tournament, but another Group B team will be eliminated.
Yep, well, welcome back. Nice to see you. That was a very intense game. I really want to see the gold graph that game. I think the 100 to 1K gold leads kept swinging between the two teams like a little pendulum.
I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah, it was...
QAQ, you know, obviously they were a little bit on the back foot in terms of kills, but they stayed ahead on gold pretty much a lot of that early game, which I was constantly a bit surprised by.
Yeah, most of the gold was in the pocket of that jungler, right? So, and we saw it so many times towards the end of that. They finally realized, hey, this is where the linchpin of all of their fight initiation comes from. We're just going to focus on that and take it down, right? And, you know, it's not just credit to Forever Blessed as well. Obviously, from EI as well, there were some mistakes. Obviously, the Herald is the obvious one, but also just burning the ultimates onto Asta, right? This is not a priority target. This is not where you should be aiming that, that stuff that you've got. So, I would like to see... I hope that we see this team in future tournaments. They have a lot of talent, but for now, Forever Blessed, they'll be moving on.
Do we know who their next opponent is? Or do we want to
they will be playing the loser of Dream Team and Skullbullet from the upper bracket. So it is a difficult journey to say the very least for them.
It's going to be a rough climb indeed. I agree with your sentiment though, Merc. I do think QAQ played well, and I think maybe it was a couple lapses there was a couple miscommunications. You know, you mentioned using resources on maybe lesser priority targets, but if you refine that communication, if you refine that resource use down, that's a strong team that absolutely would have taken that game if the correct targets were identified and taken out. So I agree with you. I'd love to see them back in another tournament. I'd love to see those fellas playing back on the Rift because we've got some real talent there.
We absolutely do, but that's about it for today's broadcast games. I think we've got a lot more action over the course of next week because the finals is next weekend.
Oh, I'm hyped.
Scary.
I'm so hyped.
Ooh,
You guys hoping to cross together again?
I hope so. I think we are. I'm not sure.
I haven't taken a look at the schedule.
I can't leak the script, but I always love working with Hallow. He's been a pleasure to work with over the course of the past few tournaments. But I'm excited to see how that goes because we just got heaps of League of Legends action in this region all across the next month.
Oh yeah.
I believe that. I think we're about to
Yeah,
close
no
out
interviews tonight for everyone. I'm so sorry. So we will be saying goodbye. Thanks a lot to Mercury for the play-by-play, Hallow and Catherine for color casting. I'm your standing hosting. I guess we'll see you all next week.
See you, everyone.
See ya.